up in the mark stat, it still says 74-19 in North Melbourne's favour, of course, but it was 55-9 at half time, so clearly it's evened up a bit.
And even just I know it's still 21 points, but those quick goals in the early stages of this third quarter, all three of them, in fact, for the Tigers. A little run that they had, it was into the breeze, though, give them that. As the siren sounds for three-quarter time, a lot of confidence-boosting momentum there for the Tigers in that third term. 3-2-20. They trail North Melbourne 6-5-41 on the Identifiable Asbestos Risk Management Services scoreboard. The final term from the Swinburne Centre on the way on the other side of this here on Women's Footy for McDonald's. Smooth barista-made coffee from McCafe, available 24/7.
That quarter on Women's Footy was for Robot Building Supplies. Robots got it.
Crews returning a crash on the Ring Road, Greensborough bound at Pascoe Vale Road. A couple of middle lanes are closed with delays building quickly back before the Tullamarine Freeway. There's also a crash in Dandenong South on the South Gippsland Highway, northbound at the South Gippsland Freeway, and on the South Gippsland Highway outbound at Thompson's Road. Unlock Labor Day fun at Gumbaya World, Victoria's home of cool action, loud laughs and wild adventure. Book online now at gumbaya.com.au. That's the latest SEN Sky Traffic.
Miss your favourite show? Want to catch up on an interview? Download and listen to every SEN podcast when you want it. Or on the SEN app.
An important message from the Victorian Government. Because of the efforts of Victorians, restrictions have changed. Visitors to your home are limited to 30 people a day, outdoor gatherings to 100. Fitted face masks are required inside supermarkets, large retail spaces, hospitals and care facilities, airports, public transport, taxis and ride shares. Check in when you're out, and if you have any symptoms, get tested and stay home. Learn more at coronavirus.vic.gov.au. Authorised by the Victorian Government, Melbourne.
Want to win free coffee for an entire year? That's a lot of lattes. Just order a McCafe coffee on the My Macca's app for your chance to win. There are 25 winners every day. But hurry, limited time only. Ends 23/03/21. Visit mcdonalds.com.au/coffeecomp for full terms.
Hi, Daisy Pearce here. Signing up an apprentice or trainee can help achieve your business goals. So partner with your local apprenticeship experts, MEGT. MEGT is Australia's largest and only national apprenticeship network provider. And they're in it for the long haul. They make the whole process easy with completion rates higher than the national average. You could even be eligible for government incentives. Join forces with the best in the business. MEGT, your local apprenticeship experts. Call them now on 136963.
Not since 2019 have we enjoyed that walk along Swan Street to the MCG. The ritual of meeting mates, having a beer, sharing a laugh, the anticipation of the game ahead. The MCG lights guiding your way, grabbing a record on your way in. Melbourne, it's time to go back to the footy.
13 days to go.
SEN and Host Plus Super. We're there with you. Wherever life takes you, Host Plus goes with you.
Hello. Frank Walker from National Tiles. National Tiles have slashed the price on DIY Kimberley hybrid flooring to an unbelievable $29.95 every day of the year. That's right, DIY Lay and Click Kimberley hybrid flooring slashed to $29.95 every day of the year. Go online now at nationaltiles.com.au and save on Kimberley hybrid DIY Lay and Click flooring. It's child's play. National Tiles. Now you can.
Lap it up when the greatest racing carnival comes to town for the Charlton and District Community Bank Charlton Pacing Cup, March 14. Be part of Charlton's biggest ever punting challenge on a day with something for everyone. Marquees are available and selling fast. So book now. Don't miss all the action at the Group 3 Charlton Pacing Cup, March 14. For details, visit thetrots.com.au. With something for everyone, lap it up at the Trots Country Cups Carnival.
The all-new Canon dual cab ute is on display at SEN and GWM Haval, featuring 8-speed auto diesel motor, alloy wheels and a 9-inch touchscreen with Apple CarPlay. All from just $33,990 drive away, including a 7-year GWM warranty and 5 years cap servicing. There's easy finance, and don't forget the instant asset write-off is available. T's and C's apply. SEN and GWM Haval, 600 Mount Alexander Road. Call 90 80 11 11. LMCT 10092.
too. This Sunday night in Ballarat, it's the West versus West in the A-League as Western United takes on the Western Sydney Wanderers. After their first win at Mars Stadium, can they make it 2 in a row? Kick-off at 6:10pm. Don't miss it. Get your tickets at Ticketek now.
You're listening to Women's Footy on AFL Nation. For McDonald's, smooth barista-made coffee from McCafe. Available 24/7.
Welcome back to Punt Road Oval, the Swinburne Centre as it's now called, the North Melbourne 6-5-41, leading the Tigers 3-20. A lot to like about though from the Tigers in that third quarter. They increased the pressure, they were a little more strategic when going forward. The challenge is now to try and stop the North attack kicking into the breeze.
Yeah, I think the pressure from the first couple of minutes really put North sort of on the back foot in a way that they weren't as confident in trying to chip the footy around and control it. Because in that first quarter, they would have had control of the footy for probably 80% of the quarter when kicking into the breeze, and that gets you the more scoring shots. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they come out here. Katie's gone back on ball. She's been pretty good for them, playing mostly on ball tonight.
And it's nice and comfortable here in the commentary box, but the weather conditions, Nick, it looks like that wind, which has been blowing a gale towards the Punt Road Yarra Park.
The wind has dropped away. The flags have stopped. The wind has fallen away, and that could just open the door maybe for the Tigers if they get an early one here. They were kept in their huddle a little bit longer than North Melbourne, maybe a bit of a rev up.
So 21 points. Do we give them a sneaky chance?
Not for me.
No.
But I'll keep it. Yeah, I'll say yes to keep it alive.
Ever the optimist. Keep our listeners with us until 7 o'clock this evening before we take you to Marvel Stadium. Collingwood and Richmond coming up straight after this match. But we've got 1 quarter to go here at Punt Road Oval, and it'll be the Tigers to break clear from the restart. Mackenzie short to Brennan. So again, positivity from the opening bounce for the Tigers. Inside 50, Wakefield on the lead. Delivered beautifully. And taken beautifully as well. She lobs this one inside attacking 50. A bit of hard work for Stahl. Off hands Emma King. Able to release the handball. Bruton searching for Mia King. Defensive side of the broadcast wing. Levy taken into the turf. The umpire says, "You give it to me, I'll ball it up." The clock's been restarted on the scoreboard, so we've travelled 18 and a half minutes into the final quarter. Now they've just restarted it. Early stages, final quarter. Women's footy for McDonald's. Smooth barista-made coffee from McCafe, available 24/7. Bran Catasano's caught. Got spun around 3 times. And given away the footy. So North with the free kick on half back. They won the third quarter, the Tigers, kicking all 3 of their goals. Now North Melbourne wanting to surge forward as the breeze just picks up ever so slightly here at the Swinburne Centre. Long ball towards the 50. Darcy, it bobbled in front of her, but she was able to take it cleanly in the end. Just hoiks it high out of defensive 50. Bouncing ball makes things difficult for Dempsey. Tries to shrug off the tackle. The kick, searching for Hosking. Collects. Spots up the target. They've been better using their vision in this second half. Bernardi coming inboard, searching for Mackenzie over her head, and was maybe worked underneath it well by Bruton. Quick handball given off by Bateman in the middle. North Melbourne still with possession. Bruton to Carney. Advantage for a free kick taken. So a high ball inside 50. Searching for Emma King. Chopping at the arms. An infringement. It'll go the way of North Melbourne, and Emma King just to snuff out any hope that Tigers fans might have had.
Very lucky. I think Georgia Hammond's actually going to end up with that one. It was a little arm over the shoulder there in an aerial contest, but it was coming from North Melbourne when they got forward of centre. They're getting the ball in quick. They've got Emma King forward, Georgia Hammond. Just get the ball in one-on-one contest. Most of the time, you're going to get a good result out of that.
So Hammond making her debut at AFLW level. Has been an impressive performer in the past, but the Darabin Falcons sneaks this one through for her first goal in AFLW. She was a train-on player with North Melbourne last season, as every single player on the ground surrounds her to congratulate her on her first goal at AFLW level in her first game of footy.
Yeah, it's been a pretty long journey for Georgia, obviously plugging away at VFLW level, and she's been at Darebin for obviously the footy factory that is Darebin for a number of years as well. So, and she always kept bobbing up in recruiting talks that we were having at Clubland, even from 2017 when we did the first draft. So, great reward, kicks a goal in her first game.
What do you think was the missing element? Why has it taken so long? Is it just because the crop coming through?
Yeah. You just don't like. There tended to be quite a number of taller forwards, but in saying that, we thought Meg Mack was a forward at the Bulldogs as well, and she's proven that she's not.
Oh yeah.
Now the skipper down at the category as the Tigers bursting away clear out of the middle. Hurry ball inside 50. Tigers will get the free kick.
Chop of the arms.
There'll be Christina Bernardi, who was running around in Port Melbourne colours last weekend in the VFLW. Back into the side this week. The late inclusion, given Monconti's withdrawal with a hamstring injury prior to the game. She comes in, and the goal umpire doesn't make it over the line. Yes, it does. So the Tigers get their fourth goal. Bernardi gets her second of the match. And so North Melbourne, they still lead 7-5-47 to 4-2-26 on the Identifiable Asbestos Risk Management Services scoreboard.
She kicked 3 in the VFL last week for Port Melbourne, Bernardi, one of Richmond's big recruits. It's been surprising to see her not in their best 22.
And just on that, the VFLW season now realigned to play more of a role at AFLW level. How important is that to have your second tier team actually running around, getting match conditioning and being able to step up to the plate when required?
Oh, completely. The first 2 years we didn't have anything, so the girls had 10 to 15 minutes maybe during a week of match practice to actually prove to them that they're ready to go for selection, whereas now they've got a whole game in game-like conditions as opposed to even just scratch matches. So it's just of utmost importance for the professionalism of the comp.
Second round of that competition gets underway tomorrow morning, as well as North goes inside attacking 50 as it's able to work clear by Abatangelo. Katie Ashmore tried to put something on the highlights reel there. It just bounced unfavourably through for a minor score. It's a 7-6-48 plays 4-2-26 on the Identifiable Asbestos Risk Management Services scoreboard.
We asked who would fill the void with no Monique Conti. Ellie McKenzie leads all Richmond players with 15 disposals. No one else in double digits. North Melbourne has 11 players with 10 or more disposals.
Ball inside 50 again for North Melbourne as Daisy Bateman takes the mark. Inside attacking 50 for them. Oh, Nelly looked to give the short pass to Ashmore, who's standing all by herself in the forward pocket.
Doesn't mind a celebration, Daisy Bateman. So if she kicks this, I dare say it could be quite out there, the celebration.
Keep the cameras on
I would
her.
imagine.
So Bateman comes in. A little bit of a stutter. It's a high ball, but it's a good-looking kick. Brilliant kick. Goal umpire did not move. And we await the celebration.
A bit disappointing, wasn't it?
Very subdued.
Well, maybe it stayed in the air too long and she wasn't sure if it was going to go through. If it had been definitely going through, she would have gone early. But look, she bobs up every now and then as well as one of their small forwards as well. And I think they got her in the mid-20s as a draft pick a couple of years ago. And herself and Daria Bannister with Sophia Abatangelo forward to really provide that speed in the... especially at the bottom of the pack when Emma King comes out and crashes it.
They've got so many different options inside 50, don't they? So many different combinations and so many players that have the ability to apply scoreboard pressure.
Yeah, completely. And you're watching Jessie Kana pretty much play predominantly as a midfielder as well, when probably her best position is forward of the footy. So they've got a lot of little things they can change up if they need to.
Speaking of that player, Garner got the clearance to Ashmore, attacking side of the outer wing. Cordner doing her best, although this time she's caught by Kate Gillespie-Jones. Is she able to get that over the boundary line? She was. So we'll get a boundary throw-in inside, attacking 50 from North. And after a little scare from Richmond, they've just been able to compose themselves.
Yeah, I think they're trying a few other things as well. Emma Carney's played on the wing predominantly in this quarter, and there was a tackle early on in that third, and a scrunchie got ruffled. So whether that's put her on as an outside mid after that, she'll kill me for that.
Don't touch the scrunchie.
No, oh, no.
There's this long hoist of a kick. It was a barrel in the end. It just went through from a minor score from none other than Emma King. So the Tigers threw Miller out of the defensive goal square, put it into the hands of Sarah Hosking. How do you rate her move to the Tigers, and probably stepping up a gear to what the role she played at Carlton?
Yeah, it was. I think from all reports, it was based on she wanted more midfield time and to come and play predominant midfield here as opposed to Carlton. She was sort of being used all over the park. So I think she's been good and solid. Probably, pretty good.
As the Kangaroos were able to force the turnover back inside 50. Off hands. Here's another opportunity for the Kangaroos. They're dominant now inside 50. This time it's Bannister that was putting it through. So now they're just able to have a look at that percentage again. You've got much better maths than I do, Nick, so I'm looking at you for any sort of prediction of where the numbers might be heading after the game today.
Well, all that matters is they will leapfrog the Bulldogs, assuming the Bulldogs don't beat Collingwood on Sunday, and that puts them in 5th place on the ladder and probably puts them in a bit of a nice spot considering the Dogs and the D's will be beneath them, and both have pretty tough runs to finish the year.
Really finding this. I know they had a first good couple of rounds. The middle part of the season, well, rounds 3 and 4, going down to Melbourne in that absolute classic game out at Casey Fields. The Collingwood match a couple of weeks ago at Marvel Stadium, as there's a infringement for players not starting in the right positions. Yep. Akek Makua-Chua was a little too late getting on the ground. It was a warning though, so no free kick awarded in the middle. A throw up. Oh, look at that tap work. You don't get much better than that. King down to Carney. Ball to half forward. Bannister now centering this one. Mia King just didn't quite complete the mark. It's a chaos footy. Up and under kick, top of the goal square. No mark claimed. Off hands to Emma Carney. Brilliant. She started that passage of play. She finished it with a goal, and that's now 9 individual goal kickers for North Melbourne.
Yeah, that was a bit of a training drill, that one out of the middle, and the work rate from the girls from North was brilliant. Mia King, Jazzy Garner, you see working really hard to get to the drop of the footy as well, and Mia King had Katie on the spread back into D50 for the Tigers there by a good 5 metres and ended up winning the footy as well, and that's shown over the course of this game.
The thing about the 666 rule is when you infringe, the ball is thrown up, and if you've got Emma King versus Sabrina Frederick in that situation, it was always going to result in a pretty clean tap for the Roos.
10-7-67 plays 4-2-26 on the Identifiber, specialising in asbestos, mould, air quality and environmental services scoreboard. This is women's footy for McDonald's. Smooth barista-made coffee from the cafe, available 24/7. Here we go again. North inside 50. This time Ross trying to force the intercept. Akek Makua-Chua under pressure. Done that a couple of times this evening, and it's put Richmond under the pump. It was just an up and under hoping kick. Monaghan didn't receive the handball that was intended for her. Brennan now under pressure, unable to release. Monaghan ends up now with the footy in hand. Over the head of Seymour, creates an opportunity here for Jess Duffin. Gathers. Composed kick. Just a little off Abertangelo. Ball over the boundary line and out of play. We'll throw it in next to the behind post on the outer side for the Kangaroos.
North leading disposal winners: Ash Riddell 22, Garner 20, Gavalis 19, Carney 16, Ashmore 16.
Ball to be tossed in. Emma King up against Seymour. Seymour had to go back in after it. Shovels the handball to Ross, to Birchall. Still inside defensive 50. Nice vision, nice build-up from the Tigers. That's what they were lacking in the opening half. Sharks goes down to the centre wing. Frederick unable to take it. No, she'll get the free kick. Hardeman impacting the contest, not in the correct way. Mola now with some space, kicks it inside attacking 50, needs someone to run onto it, bounced awkwardly for Bernardi. Able to shovel the handball back to Katie Brenner, runs away from the contest, snaps the goal. Brilliant work from Richmond in what's been a really trying match for them this evening. That was good link-up play. They got a little bit lucky with the free kick on the centre wing, and then they were able to get a brilliant finish from Katie Brennan.
Yeah, they managed to clear it, got stuck a little bit on the wing. Cody Jarks had the footy, but the kick to Sabrina is on her head, and it's to her advantage. That's how she's going to win the footy. Granted, she won the free kick, but most of the time, kick it to her advantage, and that it's not out in front for Sabrina. It's on her head, and she'll win 7 out of the 10 marking contests or get the free kick. And then from there, the rest of the game just flowed for them. It was a really good passage of play for the Tigers.
Their best of the night?
I think so. I think especially into the breeze, deep in the last quarter. Yeah, pretty good.
10-7-67 North Melbourne. Richmond move to 5-2-32 on the Identifiable Asbestos Risk Management Services scoreboard. This is women's footy for McDonald's. Smooth barista-made coffee from McCafe, available 24/7. The voice you just heard, Paul Groves, alongside Nick Rapontis and myself, Matthew Cox, in commentary this evening with you as North build forward again. Ashmore putting on the afterburners. High balls, searching for Hammond. Just a little too high for her. Touched over the boundary line and out of play. Shortly we'll be taking you to the AAMI Community Series match at Marvel Stadium. Tigers and Pies playing in that match this evening. Getting underway in around 20 minutes' time. Back underway at the Swinburne Centre. North with numbers around the footy. Levy, though, she's been brilliant. And what is it? It's her fourth game of footy this evening. She's been a real surprise packet for the Tigers.
She's one of those ones that make your list and make you almost give you the difference for a couple of teams. We had one, Ash Utri, that came in for us as a hockey player. She's now gone back to hockey with the Olympic dream, but she was phenomenal and set us up for what we were trying to do.
Maybe a WNBL player with the Bendigo Spirit, was part of the gold medal team at the Commonwealth Games and now plying her trade in the AFLW. They're inside defensive 50 here, the Tigers. Ross under pressure, feeds the ball by hand to Bran Catasano. This one's just in space. Grierson's going to pop it back inside 50. The kick partially smothered though. Brennan head over the footy, went without it. And the umpire will call for it.
Seeing a lot of this. North Melbourne with 14 tackles inside 50 for the game. Richmond won. Richmond's winning the tackles overall, but has only laid one tackle inside 50.
Ashmore waiting on the outside for this one. Gets a kind bounce. The handball, though, a little too hot in the end for Gilroy, who's still chasing after it. Feeds it back to Ashmore. Back to the 50-metre arc. North with a nice build-up, apart from that kick, which was nearly taken by the player on the mark, Ilish Ross. Ball pushed over the boundary line and out of play. So 15 minutes gone, final term. North Melbourne, a brilliant start in this evening's match. Was able to get a nice 39-point advantage by half-time, but it's been a good, positive fight back from the Tigers. It could have got incredibly messy for them. The pressure that they've shown in the third quarter, the better build-up, link-up play, much more positive signs from the Tigers that we've been seeing them build throughout the course of the 2021 season as we get another stoppage inside 50.
Yeah, it was that first 5 to 6 minutes of the game. And AFL women, or footy in general, can be, especially with breeze and wind, can be defined by a 5-minute period where a team can put 3 or 4 goals on. And tonight that's been the real difference.
As Gilroy, caught by 3 Tigers, somehow managed to get the handball. They retreat back to Hardiman, who comes inboard with the kick to Randall. Has Jess Duffin, but decides to go further afield in search of Bateman. It's got 2 Tigers closing in. Chewett did well to impact the contest, brought the ball to ground. Tackle now applied. Duffin was able to work it clear for the Kangaroos. Ross may have shoved their opponent in the back. Play on. The umpire says a throw. Free kick now going the way of the Tigers. Seymour moving it quickly. Searching for Wakefield. A diving footy. Couldn't take it cleanly. Duffin collects. Dishes the handball across to Eddie, who went without it and then just put it on the ground and put the hands up in the air as if I surrender.
150 metres there, run by Gab Seymour, and following up her own turned over kick.
As she dished the handball off to corner, gives it to Akek Makua-Chua. Another high hoping kick from her. Mackenzie underneath it, swatted away from her. Hosking now up against the boundary line, feeds the handball back inboard. They're under pressure. A clever little kick along the boundary line from Dempsey, was searching for Wakefield. It's pushed over. We'll get a throw in.
Really liked a couple of things Kate Dempsey's done tonight. There was just a defensive thing she did in the middle of the ground there that made the longer high ball kick, and they end up turning it over from it. So there's some real growth in her game as she's progressing on in the years.
A boundary throw in. Both rucks went without in the end. Kate Gillespie-Jones doing it on that occasion for the Kangaroos. The handball inboard taken by Stahl. Her handball intercepted by Abertangelo. North try and pressure it forward. Riddell ends up ball in hand. Gets the kick forward. Bouncing ball. Miller will take it on the half volley and will go short to Dempsey. The player Paul Groves just referred to had a very good night. We might get her stats in a moment from Nick Nigrapontis as she goes down the boundary line searching for Seymour off hands. Ellie Mackenzie again working hard. She's going to be a star.
Only the 6 touches for Dempsey, but they've only got 5 players who have had double digits. They haven't had enough of the footy for her to have more of it.
And it's been her things off the footy as well that have been impressive tonight, as Paul indicated a few moments ago. Back underway on the centre wing. Taken here by Dempsey to Mackenzie to Cordner. A couple of the Tigers' key players tonight. Bruton with the intercept and just puts it down the boundary line and out of play. So Dempsey, the result of the free kick to Garner, centre wing. So it was a turnover and the Kangaroos go inside 50. Miller, who's also been impressive for Richmond in the last few weeks, holding down a key post inside defensive 50 along with Cordner, and with detailed how pivotal she is.
Richmond have got to continue the footy on the far side there. They had the outnumber and they just hold on to it every now and then like that.
Is that a panicked reaction?
It's probably experience, and it's probably also North have put them into that a little bit tonight with being probably the far better team.
Down the boundary line, Wakefield impacting the contest. Nelly took a screamer. Stahl tried to paddle it in front, came off the shin of Seymour in the end, so no advantage for the Tigers. Mackenzie, Nelly working away. There's a free kick for a throw, and it'll go the way of the Tigers, and it'll be Katie Brennan. No, Gab Seymour. Centre wing broadcast side. Dishes the handball off to Dempsey in all sorts of trouble. Seymour now puts a wide kick. They're lucky they've got some space here. Miller takes it, puts it to the outer side. Back taken by Lavey, who pushes it forward. Searching for Hosking, Riddell mopping up. There's the siren. 10-7-67 North Melbourne defeating Richmond 5-32 tonight at the Swinburne Centre. So North Melbourne, the victors this evening at Punt Road Oval, the Swinburne Centre, to kick off round 6 of the AFLW season this weekend. A mini statement from them. It could have been a lot bigger, but from a Richmond perspective, they did a lot of things right in that second half.
Yep, 5 or 6 minutes, really sort of flattened them early on in the first quarter. But I thought they bounced back really well, learnt from those lessons coming out of half-time. They upped their pressure, which obviously enabled them to win the footy back from North Melbourne and kick a few goals in that third quarter, which was really promising for them. And a couple of good performances for a few of their young ones as well, on top of some of their more experience. So they'll take a lot out of that, especially heading into the last 3 weeks for them, with 3 winnable games.
The goal kickers this evening for the Kangaroos, Bateman with 2, Emma King also with 2, Bannister, Garner, Emma Carney, Eddie, Avatangelo, Hammond, all with singles for them. An impressive attacking foray from North Melbourne this evening. For the Tigers, Christina Bernardi in her return to the senior side kicked 2 goals. Wakefield, Brennan and Stahl, the other goal kickers, all coming in the second half for the Tigers. The leading stats getters on the ground, Nick Rapontis.
Well, North had the 8 leading disposal winners on the ground, with Riddell 25, Garner 22, Gavalis and Ashmore 19, Bruton 18, Carney 17, Gilroy 17, and then the number 1 pick, Ellie McKenzie, with 16, Daisy Bateman with 2 and 14, 2 goals and 14 touches, Cordner with 13 out of defence as well for the Tigers. So clearly all the ball going North Melbourne's way, but in the absence of Monique Conti, Ellie McKenzie stepped up.
Richmond next week will take on the Gold Coast Suns. Do you sense that if they play like they did in the second half, they'll have another strong and gettable win performance?
Oh, completely. Yep, they're playing some good footy in patches, and you saw that last week for the majority of the game. Against Geelong, they were able to control and dominate that game. They're in another scenario next week against Gold Coast up there. I think it's Friday night. Yep, Friday night, that they can do the same thing. They've probably, if you look at the top end, if Mon comes back and Katie is playing like she is at the moment, they've probably got the 2 best players on the ground. Yep. So that's a big thing, and they can look forward to really finishing the season really strong.
The final scores once again, 10-7-67 North Melbourne defeating Richmond 5-32. That's all thanks to Identifier, specialising in asbestos, mould, air quality and environmental services. North Melbourne will play the Western Bulldogs next weekend as part of round 7. We now have the final 3 games of the home and away season. Just quickly, the teams were dropped for tomorrow's matches. Adelaide, Gold Coast, Melbourne, St Kilda to play tomorrow. Come at this, a couple of the key inclusions and outs from both of those matches.
Yeah, interesting. GWS have omitted Beck Privatelli, probably their most influential forward, key forward, marking target. She's been dropped. No changes for the Lions. Adelaide, Metcalf, Varnhagen and Considine back in, which is good for them. No big changes there for
they lose Eloise Jones.
Eloise Jones is injured. Yep, she's out. Sam Virgo and Leah Kasler both come in for the Suns. Obviously, both were captains at Brisbane initially. Sarah Perkins goes out with the knee. 2 changes for the Demons. Tarrant and McGee come in. Goldrick and McAvoy go out, so the Irish pair go out there. And for the Saints, you wouldn't want to hear anything other than Exxon and McCarthy back in. That's huge for them.
So let's look ahead at tomorrow's games as part of round 6 in the AFLW. Brilliant work again by you, Nick Rapontis. Pleasure to be with you.
Thank you, Goxie.
Pleasure to be with Paul Groves as well. Great to have your insight in the commentary box this
thank you very much. Very enjoyable.
North Melbourne, the victors, 10-7-67, defeating Richmond 5-32. I'm Matthew Cox. This has been Women's Footy on AFL Nation for McDonald's. Macca's drive-through, fast, safe and contact-free. We're heading to Marvel Stadium now for the AAMI Community Series match. It's Collingwood taking on Richmond.
Welcome to the 2021 AAMI Community Series.
Martin's got it. He scored. He shoots. It's the stuff of legend.
AFL Nation for McDonald's. Smooth barista-made coffee from McCafe. Available 24/7.
Welcome to Marvel Stadium, Game 2 of the AAMI Community Series on AFL Nation. We do it all for McDonald's, a smooth barista-made coffee from McCafe. It's available 24/7. Last night, we got a good look at the new rules and how they may or may not impact on proceedings in season 2021. St Kilda, too good for Carlton. We learned a lot about the Saints, and the Blues impressed as well. Tonight, 2 of the most talked about teams of the off-season for varying reasons. Some that they'd rather not not be. But this year is a very, very big year, and all eyes have been on Collingwood since the season finished after Richmond claimed their third premiership in the last 4 years. It's been all about Collingwood since then. One of the more tumultuous off-seasons we've seen. A chance now to just focus on footy. For the moment, they were bundled out by the Cats. 68 points in week 2 of the finals, the semi. They started the clean-out, and they lost some big names in the process. No more Adam Treloar, Tom Phillips, Jaden Stevenson. We'll talk about that in the comments from Coach Nathan Buckley today. The Do Better report, the resignation of Eddie Maguire, Heredi Lumumba, Bucks, his marriage, his future, you name it. It's all being discussed, and the comments today we'll get to in just a moment in regards to the way in which they manage their list in the off-season. For the Tigers, the reigning premiers, well, they had a pretty tumultuous year last year too. Damien Hardwick in the news in the off-season as well. Sydney stacked too. And now the pressure of trying to achieve something only Brisbane and Hawthorn have done in the modern era, and only the Hawks in the 18-team competition. 3 flags in a row. And a little bit of their own history. 4 flags in 5 years. So these two teams will be at the top of the talking points all year. Sam Hargraves here alongside Brownlow medalist Adam Coons. And you, I'm not sure if you've been involved in off-seasons like these two teams, and especially Collingwood, but how good it sometimes is it when there's a lot going on and a lot swirling around that you can just come and focus and do what we're all here to do, and that's play footy.
Yeah, we did mention the word tumultuous a couple of times there.
From
both teams. So there was one tumultuous off-season, certainly. You could bordering on catastrophic from footy terms with the Pies, and just a drop or two of blood in the water in terms of Richmond. The Sharks are starting to circle there to see how they handle their off-season. Obviously, the Premiers going for the three-peat. Will it interrupt or have any sort of effect on the playing group? We know how close the Cotchins are with Mrs. Hardwick, so that remains to be seen on how they deal with it. But you're right, the players will be rapt to be back at Marvel Stadium having a run around and a kick. It's all eyes on the Pies, isn't it? They are the big ticket item. They have been since the end of the season. They won a final, did really well, got up against the Eagles, and then from there,
and one of the greatest finals win against the odds.
Yeah, 1 point.
1 point
big
win.
smother from Taylor Adams, I think it was, late.
It was it was a finals win for the ages. I think it'll go down as one of their greatest in their history, and certainly one of the best I've seen since I've been watching football. And then, unfortunately,
from there, Sam, she's gone down, down, down.
Yes.
And it started with the Treloar situation, the murmurings about the salary cap and the unrest, and Treloar was uncoachable, and everyone was saying this, and Nathan Buckley was telling players that teammates didn't like him, and well, let's not go over all of it.
But we don't have enough time.
Because we don't have enough time. But it just, and then it reared its ugly head with the Eddie Maguire situation, the racism row, and then even in the last few days, just some, I won't say poorly quoted Nathan Buckley
you meant poorly chosen words?
Poorly chosen words, but some of the quotes were poorly chosen, I think. But I think it's just an unnecessary dig at Adam Treloar. That's the way that I read it. So we're getting into it straight away. I understand that.
We are, and we'll move through it and then focus in on more in terms of playing point of view for these two teams, what we're looking forward to seeing, and what they might do differently this year. And
how did you read it?
Well, we're going to listen to the audio in just a moment. But essentially, Nathan Buckley made the comment that one player, and he was comparing Tom Phillips and Adam Treloar. Of course, Jaden Stevenson, Artubo Senevalagi were other players that left during the off-season, but he was comparing Tom Phillips and Adam Treloar, and essentially saying that one of them took it professionally in Tom Phillips and the other one took it personally in Adam Treloar. Now, how do those comments resonate and sit with you?
I just don't know why it's necessary to bring that up. So Adam Treloar, he was a heart and soul guy at the Pies. You could tell that. And the players loved him, and he wore his heart on his sleeve, and a pretty emotional character. So to be tipped out the way that he was, he was obviously stung by that, and rightly so. So to compare the two situations with Tom Phillips and Adam Treloar in the latest Nathan Buckley interview, I thought was just unnecessary and unwanted and unneeded at a time where he's come out also in the last couple of days and talked about his future as a coach and saying, if I'm not the right man to take this club forward, then I'll step down. It's just the timing of this on the eve of the season with such a tumultuous, catastrophic,
we will find another word.
Off-season. It beggars belief. I think sometimes it's just better to shut up shop, isn't it?
It's probably not people were calling out to hear from Nathan Buckley, given the findings of the Do Better report and given that he's been at the club for such a long time and in positions of prominence for such a long time. So people have been saying, why have we not heard from Nathan Buckley? Maybe Scott Pendlebury as well. The silence from them really didn't sit comfortably with a lot of people. So people had been saying, we want to hear from him. These issues that we're talking about from a football point of view, and I don't think it was a fair comparison to make between Tom Phillips and Adam Treloar. Tom Phillips had a year to go on a contract that wasn't really worth a hell of a lot anyway. But the Adam Treloar situation, 2 times he'd been asked to push money back so they could continue to pay others. It was actually Collingwood that made it personal in my mind when they brought the fact that his wife Kim was going up to Brisbane and was his mental health in a space to be able to handle that, and they had concerns there. So that's a personal concern that they had. And I know it's been denied, but Sam Edmund sticks by the report that Adam Treloar was told that senior teammates didn't want him at the club anymore. That stuff seems to me like it's personal. So I don't think it was fair to say that Adam Treloar took it personal and he shouldn't have, because I think it was made personal.
Yeah, of course he's going to take it personally when some of the things that came out publicly were stated and some of them were factual. I'm sure not all of them were, but I think most were pretty spot on. So, of course, he's going to feel aggrieved by that. And I wouldn't pick up the phone either to Nathan Buckley if I was in Adam Treloar's situation. But to publicly say that and compare the two situations, which are miles apart between Phillips and Treloar.
I would agree with that.
He's back-ended his deal and then taken less money and then done it again for the good of the club. So yeah, it became a personal situation. So it is a business. I understand that. Players get traded, players get delisted. That is part of the business. But they ventured past that and went personal, and it got personal. So it was a business decision from Phillips and from Collingwood, and I found it was a personal and business decision with Treloar. So, of course, he's going to take it that way.
So, at the time, I remember saying, and I think I had this conversation with you maybe on air, what Collingwood did, I actually don't have an issue with. The how is probably the part that, if they had their time over again, they'd want to do better in terms of how they handle their off-season. It is for better or worse, it is without doubt the beginning of the American era, where you load up, you get a list together you think will be successful, and you try and keep it together as long as you can. You move the money around as best you can, and players are commodities, and it's all done via a spreadsheet and who we've got and how much we've got. And if then you decide, well, this isn't the list that's going to get it, well, you make changes. Yep. The loyalty side of things is a nice to have. It's part of more of a bygone era. I think it gives us the warm and fuzzies at times when we hear about it, but really it's all about the club doing what they believe is best for themselves and to try and get success. It's the American era. The only problem was we all knew that that's what they were doing, but they were trying to tell us that they weren't.
Yeah. And so there's
a business.
A Texas has come through. Players want to get paid like a business. They should expect to be treated as such. So players understand more than anyone that it is a business now. And as a player who has been traded, you do understand that. I mean, it hurts. Of course it does. But the players do understand that aspect of the game. And with free agency and the amount of money that they do get paid now, of course they understand it's a business. And sometimes these things happen. But to venture into the personal side of things, and then in the last day or so to back the truck over Adam Treloar again and compare those two situations, I just thought it was unnecessary.
Let's have a listen. We will let the audio do the talking, and you can have your say. 0433 98 11 16. This was Nathan Buckley today.
And obviously there's been a lot of focus on ads and the way that sort of transpired, but the very same conversations were being had with Tom Phillips, and he handled it a whole lot differently and saw that it wasn't a personal decision, it was a professional decision.
So, how do you feel hearing it again? That was from the AFL.com.au, and we thank them for that.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. He said, I think a couple of things that he said have sort of piqued my interest over the last week or so. So now, as I said, and you said off the top, all the eyes of the AFL world are on Collingwood, because people love Collingwood or they love to hate Collingwood, and everyone's going to be watching. And the first month of their season is going to be the big ticket item, the box office of the AFL, I think, to see what happens in their first month, and with Nathan Buckley's comments about coaching and what has occurred. So I'll tell you what, if they go 4-0, it's going to be an amazing start to the season for them.
It will,
with everything that's happened. So we'll talk about the on-field stuff as we knuckle down a little bit later.
Those are the comments that are probably at the top of the news pile today. We want to send a cheerio to Dylan Robertson from St Kilda, who has decided to step away from football. That story up at afl.com.au as well. We know that the issues that he's been battling from his health and his heart point of view, so making the decision to do what's best for his family. And from all, never met Dylan Robertson, I don't know him, but from all you hear, is a sensational club person, and we just wish him all the best in the next phase of his life.
Yes, a great club man, very, very popular amongst his teammates. Hard as a cat's head, courage could never be questioned on the field, and a real leader around that club. So, yeah, it's a devastating way to finish up. Obviously thought that he could get to a stage where he could get back out there and help his teammates. It wasn't to be, but health is foremost and the most important thing.
Yep.
First and foremost. So hopefully he can live a long, healthy, happy life off the field.
Absolutely. Australia in the fourth T20 against New Zealand, 6 for 156 they were bowled out for. Aaron Finch made more than half of Australia's score. So back-to-back half-centuries for the under-pressure white ball captain. 79 off 55 for him. Wade made 14, Maxwell 18, Stoinis 19, and there wasn't much to write home about after that. In response, New Zealand 1 for 28 into the seventh over. Adam Cooney, the teams are in for tomorrow. Geelong taking on Essendon down in your neck of the woods now.
Who'd they lead with? The player there, Sam? They
sort of buried the lead.
Did they?
It's former Hawk Isaac Smith will make his maiden appearance in Cats colours.
Oh.
Alongside ex-Giant goal kicker Jeremy Cameron and former Kangaroo and Bulldogs midfielder Sean Higgins.
Well, he's got the flags in the bank, Isaac Smith, so maybe they went with the
Danger, Selwood, Hawkins, Blixarves, Stewart will all play. Guthrie as well. No Reece Stanley. Sam DeConning has been picked in the ruck. Top 10 picks for the Dons. Archie Perkins and Nick Cox have been selected for the Bombers. So too Alec Waterman. Michael Hurley, Jake Stringer, Dave Zaharakis and Harrison Jones will not play. Hurley a hip, Stringer and Achilles, Zaharakis the knee. Harrison Jones tweaked the knee as well, but he has been named. North Melbourne have selected their pick number 3, Will Phillips, in the squad to face Hawthorn on Saturday, Arvo at Arden Street. He didn't play in last week's scratch match against the Saints, but he's in the Roos squad along with Jaden Stevenson, Aidan Core, Lockie Young, Artu Bosena-Vilagi. Ben Cunnington still sidelined after a training concussion. For the Hawks, no Mitchell, no Wingard, shoulder, calf. Tom Phillips, Kyle Hardigan will play. Tyler Brockman and Connor Downey will also play, and Denver Granger Barras has been named as an emergency. I think he was like pick 6
DGB
last year or the year before.
Denver Granger.
Anyway, we'll work our way through that. So those teams are up afl.com.au. We will come back, and on the other side of this, as one text has asked us, please just talk about footy. We will do that next. This is the AAMI Community Series on AFL Nation for McDonald's Smooth Barista Made Coffee from the McCafe. Sam Hargraves, Adam Cooney, Marble Stadium, Pies, Tigers.
You're listening to AFL Nation for McDonald's. Smooth barista made coffee from McCafe. Available 24/7.
Want to win free coffee for an entire year? That's a lot of lattes. Just order a McCafe coffee on the My Macca's app for your chance to win. There are 25 winners every day. But hurry, limited time only. Ends 23/03/21. Visit mcdonalds.com.au/coffeecomp for full terms.
This footy season, the competition is wide open. When you're travelling on the wide open roads over the holiday period, ensure your tyres are 100% safe with Tyre Power. The massive Easter sale is on now, and Tyre Power has you covered for tyre safety. Buy 3 get one free on selected passenger and SUV Toyo tyres. And like your team kicking a goal to win, the free 5-minute tyre safety check offers tremendous peace of mind. Find your local independently Aussie-owned Tyre Power at tyrepower.com.au.
New car sales are hot, and for a quality SUV or ute at a value price, check out Havel GWM at Astoria, Bentley East. The new GWM Cannon ute has 4-wheel drive, dual cab, auto, diesel, and only $33,990 drive away. Havel SUV auto models are from only $22,990 drive away, and all have 7 years warranty. Plus, we need your trade-in, and we'll pay good money for it. Astoria Havel GWM, North Road, Bentley East, LMCT 10901.
Watch your favourite team in action and catch up on the best games and in-depth analysis. With NBA League Pass, it's your game, your rules, where you can watch your way every day. Find the plan that suits you at watch.nba.com.
This radio station endorses the commercial radio codes of practice, which have been registered by the Australian Broadcasting Authority. The codes relate to taste and decency, accuracy and fairness in news and current affairs, advertising, Australian music content and complaints handling. Copies of the codes are available by contacting this radio station or Commercial Radio Australia on 02 9281 6577. If you feel a code of practice has been breached and you wish to register a complaint, your complaint should be made in writing. See the complaints section at sen.com.au.
Get your drinks sorted in time for the footy with Dan Murphy's Delivery.
Hi, Wayne Russell here for Dan Murphy's. Here's what I want to see delivered this season. Some more champagne footy from Dusty and Patrick Cripps and the Bont, and from Connor Rozee. Some fine Ollie wines in some Port Adelaide wins, but still, the Richmond Grange Hermitage going to be tough to beat in 2021.
Get drinks delivered to your door in under 2 hours via the Dan Murphy's app. Download the Dan Murphy's app today. T's and C's apply. Drink responsibly.
Stride by stride, she's a mighty filly.
This is Rob Slade from Slade Bloodstock. Join the all-conquering Ma Eustace stable in an outstanding Zoostar colt. The stable are taking racing by storm. The colt is Magic Millions and Bob's, an ideal colt for the $2 million Magic Millions 2-year-old classic. 5%, $8,950. Finance available. Buy a share yourself or form a syndicate of friends. It's that easy. Contact me now on 0417 036 865 or go to sladebloodstock.com.au.
AFS 226 373. Morris Finance takes the hard work out of your next plant and equipment purchase. Whether you're investing in vehicles, equipment, trucks or machinery, Morris Finance has the right solution for you. Morris Finance makes the process simple, providing fast, easy to apply for asset finance at competitive rates, giving you back your time to get on with your business. More options, less hassles. Experience the difference. Call 1300-4-MORRIS or visit morrisfinance.com.au.
ACL 395249.
At Coles, enjoy great value with new Coles Plus online subscription offer. Get double Flybuys points, free unlimited deliveries for orders over $100 and more for just $19 a month. Sign up today and get the first month free. Coles, value the Australian way.
Want to win free coffee for an entire year? That's a lot of lattes. Just order a McCafe coffee on the My Macca's app for your chance to win. There are 25 winners every day. But hurry, limited time only. Ends 23/03/21. Visit mcdonalds.com.au/coffeecomp for full terms.
You're listening to AFL Nation for McDonald's. Smooth barista-made coffee from McCafe. Available 24/7.
Marvel Stadium, the venue for the second game of the AAMI Community Series on AFL Nation. We do it for McDonald's Smooth Barista-made coffee from the McCafe. It's available 24/7. Sam Hargraves, Brownlow medalist Adam Cooney with you. And we did promise we would just home in on the football side of things now that we've discussed the issues of the day. And so, Coons, two very different teams, the way they go about it. Obviously, Richmond, the journey for them to create a piece of history that hasn't been achieved in the modern era of football, 4 premierships in 5 years, and looking to do what the likes of Brisbane and Hawthorn have done, winning 3 in a row in the modern era, and of course Hawthorn the only team to do it in the 18-team competition. When you look at where their numbers were strong last year, really no major category stands out except a couple. Intercept possessions, metres gained, inside 50s. Number 1 in the comp for all those 3 things. 3rd for marks inside 50 as well. They didn't mess around with it. They played pretty direct football, and they got reward for effort when they went inside forward 50. They've been really efficient.
Yes, and their pressure as well.
Yep.
I'm not sure what they're rated in terms of their overall pressure, but the optics, the eye test, they pressure like no one else, and that's one of the main reasons why they've become so successful. You're right, they don't muck around with the footy. They don't kick wide, they don't chip wide or slow the footy down. They go direct. They knock the footy on like Brisbane did in 1, 2 and 3 when Michael Voss was at the helm. They don't muck around. They get it in there. They get it inside 50, and they're efficient. Sometimes football can be quite a simple game, and they play it a simple way, but they do it better than anyone else in the competition and have done for a long time. The only question mark you could possibly have over Richmond is you go to the hunger side of things, and can they go again? Do they have it in them again? What are we going to get from Jack and Trent Cotchin this year, who their output has declined over the last couple of years? I'm not talking leadership, I'm talking pure numbers. They have big moments in games, but in terms of overall output, I'd say it's just diminished slightly from those two, and that's probably, and I'm nitpicking, trying to pick up something for the other 17 teams in the competition as to why Richmond can't go again. But I mean, they're an experienced team here tonight. They'll look for, and they lost Jack Higgins and Oleg Markov to the Gold Coast Suns, but their core group is here and ready to go for another tilt at it again and to create more history. Soldo with the ACL is obviously a huge loss, which puts a fair bit on the shoulders of Nank. Marbior Chol, the development there as a forward and ruck is interesting as well. Hopefully he comes on and becomes that man who helps out Nank this year. But they're all there. We know how they play. The improvement comes from Jake Arts, Noah Bolter again. I think Marlon Pickett as well, obviously big finals player, but I think he can go to another level or two. Then they've got the youngsters, Thompson Down, Nash, who haven't played a lot of footy. There'll be some opportunities for the younger players. And
Gary Lyon very big on Riley Corley at Dawkins.
Yes, so they've got a few that'll get some opportunities, and you play well tonight, cement your spot in round one, the premiers of last year. It's great for confidence of a young player.
In contrast, Collingwood number one in the comp for disposals last year on average per game, number one uncontested, number one disposal efficiency, but they were 18th for metres gained, so that just shows a high usage of the footy. They were 10th for inside 50, so they got a lot of time with the ball but not going in a hell of a lot. Inside forward 50, and they were 13th for goals scored. Brodie Mychek equal 13th in the competition, but 25 led the way for them there. Do you think we'll see a different Collingwood now that the game looks, and from what we saw last night, has the potential to open up, where if you can go quick and you can go direct, then you can hit the scoreboard and hit it regularly?
Well, small sample size of what we saw last night, and some of the trial matches that were streamed online, you'd think there is a tinkering there, because they love to possess the footy and keep their hands on it, Collingwood, last season. So with the man on the mark rule, there is just, we saw it last night, there is so much freedom to move the ball laterally, and that 45-degree kick, which opens the whole ground up. It's a game changer, this rule, I think, in the infancy of it. I just think that it's a wonderful innovation and rule tweak. It's not a rule change, because the player is just standing still on the mark, which is what they probably should do and what they would have done 50 years ago. So we've gone back to the origins and the roots of our game. So the man stands on the mark, and the game is more open and it's more flowing.
It was really the Hawthorn 08 side that made it a tactic.
Yeah, Alistair Clarkson, he's got a lot to answer for, that guy. But it looks like it looks like it's going to be really positive. Yeah. And some people hated it. I tweeted last night that I said I'd love it if footy was like that. And people said it was like AFLX. But it was a pre-season game. There's never...
Can I
the pressure isn't through the roof in a pre-season game.
We had a couple of texts last night that said, where's the defensive structures? And I'm thinking, what is going on where you'd prefer to see defensive structures over scoring? Back when you were playing junior footy, if you had a good night on the track, the coach didn't finish up training going, righto guys, you've had a good night on the track, let's finish up with some defensive structures. No, you did goal kicking. You were able to have some shots.
And people want to see snags, and particularly in a pre-season competition, the defensive structures are going to be there, but it's about 65-70%, and it ramps up for round one because obviously there's points on the line. But it was I think it was a score fest, and then it tightened up in the second half. So it's a bit like watching an NBA game. You don't take too much notice of the first half, do you?
13 first quarter goals, 9 second quarter goals, 5 in the third, and off the top of my head I can't remember how many last, but fatigue came into play. The scoring dropped off, so too did the accuracy, so too did the disposal efficiency, and I'll continue to make the point until someone can prove me wrong or answer the question. What do human beings do better when they're tired other than sleep? Nothing. So
turn the footy over.
Yeah. So, who are we excited to see tonight? 0433 98 11 16 for Tigers fans, Pies fans. This is the time of the year where everybody's got equal amount of chance. Everybody's got hope. Everybody's got expectation. We've got Liam Henry, the first pick for Collingwood in last year's draft, and they had a brilliant draft to haul Collingwood. They nailed the draft, it must be said. Ollie Henry wearing Peter Dacos's old number 35, and it's a familiar tale as we get going in this one. Dusty Martin, the first clearance to right half forward and putting on the afterburners as Jake Arts, and didn't he find a position in that Richmond forward line? Fantastic year last year.
He did.
The mature age rookie.
Anytime Arts, I was calling him because I had him in most of my same game multis to snag one a game, and he did well for me.
And Dacos, as that kick from Arts was intercept marked by Jeremy Howe, so how good to have him back, pardon the pun. Round 4 last year against the Giants, he did that knee, and people were talking about him in Brownlow medal conversations. Such was the impact that he had in those first 4 games. So back out there tonight and already getting involved. Tigers win the footy back on the far wing. Lambert releases last year's best and fairest winner in Short, whose kick was a little long for Rewalt. Caddy front and square, couldn't get a handle on it. The ball will go out of play for a throw in 45 metres around from Richmond's left point post. They're kicking to your right radio speaker. The Pies to your left. And Muzza from Geelong, tonight, can you commentate the football, and the special comments mean not have an autobiography on the goals like last night? It was boring and not good listening. Thank you, Muzz, for the feedback, and we'll endeavour to do our very best.
That would have been Dal Santo.
Well, we'll blame Nick Dal Santo. I might have been here too, I don't know.
Old biography's Dal Santo.
But we will do our very best. We want to hear from you throughout the course of the night. Good, bad, indifferent. 0433 98 11 16. Ball out of play. Little scrappy to start this game.
Yeah, just a couple of sloppy kicks from Collingwood coming out of the back half. They've turned over 2 balls already. Last one was from Brodie Grundy. Just shanked it off the outside of the boot. We'll see that early, I think. A bit rusty.
So Grundy gets front spot, double palm down. Pendlebury in his 8th season now as captain. Tyler Brown, it was almost basketball style, bouncing it up to his own advantage. Kick smothered. Maynard tracks it over the line. We'll have it thrown in right where the 50 meets the boundary for the Tigers.
Big smother. Is that Cotchet? Is that the skipper doing that? Pre-season smothers. It's outrageous stuff.
But do you think he's earned the right to not have to do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
The 1%ers. Grundy wins that. Back to Maynard and then Crisp. That kick was exactly that. Just lofted it out into space for John Noble to run onto. Left half back. Switch was good. Now he just drops it down the line. It was a beautifully weighted and measured kick for Oliver Henry, who just couldn't take the mark. He's wrapped up in a good tackle from Vlosten, and he's rewarded holding the ball. Vlosten plays on quickly, uses that new rule to his advantage. Kick to centre half forward, getting back into space was Tyler Brown. Intercept style, and the Pies will win it back.
It's an interesting choice of kick from Nick Vlosten. It was a 40... Oh, geez.
Well, Darcy Moore's turned it over. Well, Castagna just came out of nowhere, picked the pocket of Isaac Quaynor, took the mark, played on, and he gets the Tigers first. So turnovers the order of the first quarter at the minute.
Well, they've been off, it's fair to say, with their foot skills early. Darcy Moore ended up getting the footy in the back 50, tried the one-step kick, chiselling ball inside, and absolutely laced out Castagna. It was a poor kick from Vlosten, who turned the footy over. A really dangerous position, centre half forward for the Tigers, and then they went into slow play straight away, Collingwood, and Moore just a lazy kick. Castagna read it really well off the boot. That's 3 times in this game already. We're 3 minutes 52 in. Collingwood have turned the footy over not once, not twice, but thrice already, Sam, in their back half. So a bit of work to do, just with some poise and some composure early.
Just a couple of people having a hard time visualising right radio speaker, left radio speaker. Coventry end is to your right, Lockett end to your left. Apologies for those that's been confusing for. Near wing, Richmond get another clearance. 1 straight 6. Collingwood yet to score, and Collingwood yet to get it inside their forward half for type out. The massive Easter sail. Maynard comes off half-back. That's a good kick. Henry had to camp underneath it again. Asprey, the defensive fist. Grundy goes in and finds it. Baker took it away from him. And there is Nankervis with a big job to do with no Soldo. He was trying to connect with Asprey, and they ran out of real estate, so we'll have it thrown in at left half forward for the Pies.
And Asprey did the young fella, Henry, a favour then. He could have absolutely sent him to hospital. The kick was a hospital ball. Ollie Henry stood under it, and I think Asprey did the right thing there in a pre-season game.
Oh, beautifully done from Grundy, straight down to Degoe. He releases Crisp, who can run to 50. Cox trying to shepherd it over on the line. Strength shown from Bolter to hang in that contest, and he got a hand on it. Rush behind. First score for the Pies is a singular.
Been an issue, the mid connection. Plenty of hit-outs from Brodie Grundy last season, but didn't necessarily equate to hit-outs to advantage and also clearances. But, gee, that was a nice one from Grundy down to Degoe. He does read the ball really well off Brodie Grundy's hands, Jordan Degoe. I'd love to see him play some more time in the midfield to win some clearances as he sneaks forward here.
Jake Hartz has just been penalised for trying to fly kick a ball in mid-air. Noble drives the Pies inside forward 50. Cox went for the mark. Maybe should have gone the fist. Grimes stood his ground and took the mark. 35 out from his defensive goal. On the drive-by, he's got short.
Half a step late on his leap then, Mason Cox.
Good fly from Roughhead. Couldn't bring it down. Front and centre work from Lambert. Was able to get out of the tackle. Kebabs Coleman Jones to Edwards. And Art's a good tackle on Quaynor, but he infringes. And Quaynor's got options into the middle. Degoe, who was warming up with the midfield group, gets it to Magin from the Barossa Valley. And here's Dacos. Didn't he excite Pies fans last year? That's a beautiful kick. Sire can bring him inside forward 50, and he gave it straight to Dylan Grimes, who led out in front of Jamie Elliott like he was the forward.
Great build-up, though. The kick from Quaynor inside was superb. Got it going quickly to go, and they got an inside 50. Just a poor execution from Sire inside 50.
Brilliant chase from Mason Cox, who affected the McIntosh kick, and Quaynor was able to take the intercept grab.
Another good kick inside from Quaynor. That's two now.
They want to use corridor here. They come outside again, though. Noble got it to Degoe, who's busy in this quarter. Thomas puts Sire under a heap of pressure, and they've turned it over. Graham, Martin, the don't argue. First one already. Got rid of Thomas easily, as he's done to so many in his illustrious career. Just a bullet pass up the wing to Edwards inside Shea Bolton. He just puts it into space and says Jack lead onto that. Bounced over Jack's head in a one-on-one with Moore. Jack recovered well. Got it to Castagna. Dodging, weaving, snapping. Goaling. Castagna's got two. The only two. Two straight 12, the Tigers. The Pies just the one behind for Type Out. Massive Easter sale.
Well, the Pies are trying to move the ball quickly. Twice Quaynor's been involved off half-back, and really nice kicks inboard, but centre forward is where they're breaking down again. Thomas got the footy, and almost I thought he may have taken the mark, but it was actually a handball to Thomas. He stood still for half a second, got eaten up, and then Dusty Martin got the footy, and he kicks it better than anyone in the competition. Just lean back slightly. It was a beautiful kick inboard. Again, opened the whole ground up, and from there they were away. Nice kick out the back. Jack got involved, turned his defender inside out, straight to Castagna, who is a crafty player, and a nice finish around the body. So just the two contrasts in the teams at the moment. Collingwood trying to move the ball quickly and be really positive, but breaking down centre forward. Richmond on the turnover. Always hard to stop, and very clean execution when they went forward that time.
Just looking at Mason Cox down on the interchange, had a drink of water, didn't like what was in there and just tipped it all out. Said, nah, what is that? Filth.
Water.
Thomas was able to create a path through under heavy traffic, just slams it onto the right slipper. Kick was a little bit too hot for Callum Brown. Right forward pocket, swooping in, gathering and just continuing on the move was Pickett. Switch across the face of goal was good to Caddy in the right back pocket. He just waits for Baker to lead into some space, and he honours that lead. Grimes is there in support as Baker drew the man and gave it to Grimes. Pumps it down the line. That's a good mark. Third man up was Roughhead. They'll come near side. Maynard right in front of the interchange. AAMI Community Series on AFL Nation for the McCafe barista-made coffee. Another inside, forward 50 for Collingwood. Front and centre was Elliott. Crumbs to Dacos. Didn't get full elevation on the snap. It was a little bit shallow. The fist away lands in the lap of Baker. And they're away again through Caddy. Pounds it down the line. Quaynor read it well. So all played exclusively along this near wing. 2 straight 12, the Tigers. Just the one behind for Collingwood. Tyre Power kicking goals with 25% off on Toyo tyres. Free kick inside Collingwood's forward 50 goes against them.
Quaynor started this game in brilliant fashion. So he had it a few times. Some good intercept marks and getting into the right spots.
So Asprey was the recipient of the free. Again, they use the near line. Again, they turn it over. And again, Collingwood linking up by hand. Sire, Thomas, Elliott running inside. Has an option, Hoskin Elliott, who's just got loose in the left forward pocket. Unselfishly concedes a lot of ground, but does find a teammate in Callum Brown. 48 metres out on a 45 angle.
Well, the last 3 kicks that have been long down the line, Collingwood have had great representation. It's been rough-head Quaynor a couple of times there, and they've actually got some inside 50s off the back of setting up well.
Oh, that's a kick that's gone straight.
This is where they're breaking down.
There was no one within 5 metres of him, so I'm not sure who the intended target was.
It was a set-up kick to the pocket, but
we might have turned it over here. Grimes was looking for Broad. Didn't quite get to him. Baker went in hard, and Thomas's tackle was equal to that hardness. He wraps him up in the left forward pocket. We'll have it thrown up.
Well, they're up to 6 inside 50s now, the Pies, for this game. Their efficiency inside 50 is at 0%, so they haven't hit a target in there yet from their 6 entries.
Over the left shoulder tap, Grundy on to Goey. That's just clever. Took it and just jammed it quickly onto the right boot as he knew the pressure was coming. Luckily, there was just a saver on the line for the Tigers. A fingertipper to it. Tagoe looking really dangerous at stoppage already. Nice little half ride over the far side from Jack. The crumbs spilled to Baker. He just jams it onto the right boot. Martin easily gets rid of Quaynor, who lost his feet, and now you're in no man's land against Dusty. Worst place to be is on the ground when he's got the ball. Bounces it inside forward 50. Nonchalant from Edwards, who can just bounce it through under absolutely no pressure. And they get 3 straight in the quarter, the Tigers. The Collingwood defence just stopped and stood still.
Yeah, slingshot footy from the back half for Jack. Had a bit of a rise. Haven't seen him spring that high for a while, so got some hops left in the legs, the old boy, but it was an outnumbered situation. They actually had 2-on-1 from the exit kicked out of defensive 50 at Richmond, so it was pretty easy to kick the ball forward. It was a genuine 1-on-1. Quaynor had actually set up really well, really aggressively in front of Dustin Martin, but he's just so strong. He dropped the mark, Quaynor, and then lost his footing, which is a cardinal sin against anyone, but a player like Dustin Martin will make you pay, and a beautiful kick inboard and easy finish from Shane Edwards.
3 straight 18, the Tigers. Collingwood just the 2 behinds on the scoreboard for Tyre Power. The massive Easter sale. AAMI Community Series on AFL Nation. The smooth barista made coffee from the McCafe is available 24/7. Bolter into the ruck now for the Tigers. Pendlebury collected with one hand, just couldn't get the other two at Graham. Just put the handbrake on. Side bottom flew right by, but Chris doesn't. He wrapped up Bolton brilliantly, but unlucky to be pinged for a high tackle. Cruising past is Shaw. That kick will go all the way to the line and over it, but just to the right-hand side.
Just a few boos ringing out, and I agree with the crowd there. Shea Bolton just saw the tackle coming from Maynard and dropped the knees, so that should have been holding the footy.
Collingwood exit defensive 50 along the near side. Chris read it well off the pack. His left foot kick, though, gave it straight to the Richmond skipper in Cochin. He wants to use corridor. Oh, Edwards just a little bit lax on that left foot drill. Skidded into the hands of Graham, but he was under close attention from Pendlebury. Racks him up in a good tackle. And they go to Tagoe. Uses the runner Maynard to his left-hand side. A low bullet inside forward 50, and Grimes again getting back with the flight and cutting it off in front of Will Hoskin-Elliott.
Yeah, it was a great play by Dylan Grimes. Reads it so well. Not afraid to leave his opponent. Feel that hole. Did it really well, the one-handed catch. But they just need to find another kick. So that lands 55 metres out from goal, because they just keep turning it over. They're inside 50. So they need to get a deep entry, because at the moment, kicking to outnumbered situations in their forward line.
Good Mark Quaynor done some good things in this quarter already. Far side wing again. They just can't get any connection going inside forward 50. It was a 2-on-1 and the 2 went out. Asprey took the mark. Spreads it to the near side. Short got it from Baker. And down the near wing.
Jeremy Howe on the mark, just walking the tightrope.
Coleman Jones, short again, getting handball received. Kick partially smothered. Edwards is there and they've got numbers. Right half forward, Marlon Pickett wanted to sell candy, but Maynard wasn't buying, so he handballs it just a little further afield, and getting in all kinds of trouble is Daniel Rioli, and he's coughed it up. Darcy Moore comes away with it off left half back, has some options. Well, Hoskin Elliott was the target, but Coleman Jones is a tall man, and he backpedals with the flight of the footy, took the grab and took the hit.
Set up so well, don't they? Their back six, Richmond, they just fill dangerous holes and continue to intercept mark.
Coleman Jones inside forward 50, going back with the flight was Bolter, couldn't reel it in. Free kick paid, it's a throw, and it's against Grundy. And it'll go to Castagna, who will go back and have a set shot from 30 metres out, pretty much directly in front.
Yeah, perfectly executed tackle. He's had a brilliant start to this game too. Castagna, great pressure, forward line pressure. Richmond do it better than just about any other team in the comp. Wrap the arm up, and Grundy had no choice but to try and dig the ball out one-handed volleyball style.
97 games, 98 goals in his career for Castagna, and that's just fading to the right-hand side on the set shot. Still 2 goals for the quarter, though. It's a good return from your small forward. So he's got 2 out of the 3. Edwards has the other. 3-2-20 now at the Tigers on the Tyre Power Massive Easter Sale scoreboard. Good defensive fist from McIntosh. And that ball's out of play, and we'll have it thrown in at left half forward. Richmond going to the Coventry end, which is the right-hand side of your dial.
Right start from De Goey for the Pies. 6 disposals already. Maynard 5. Quaynor, who's been quite brilliant, with 5 already for Collingwood.
Imagine, good take, but was well taken himself by Rioli. Little tumbling tackle sends him and the pill out of play, and we'll have it thrown back in from exactly the same spot.
Richmond side of things, Jaden Shorts just quietly up to 9 disposals already, Sam. Shane Edwards has had 6. Grimes and Asprey just patrolling the back half, 11 between them.
Adam Cooney, Sam Hargraves, AAMI Community Series on AFL Nation for the smooth barista-made coffee at McDonald's. Little goose step to buy himself some time from Pendlebury. Bolter got rid of Cox, and that's going to be 50 for not throwing the footy back on the full. And look at Mason Cox. He looks a lot faster than I've ever seen him this year.
Nice kick too,
beautifully weighted ball. De Goey had just crept into some space and no one went with him. So clever play from Mason Cox. And De Goey to go back and have the shot. The man on the mark's about 40 metres out. Not much of an angle to speak of. De Goey on the runway to get Collingwood's first. Looks very good off the boot. Looks even better when the umpire puts the 2 fingers straight out in front. So De Goey gets the Pies first. Been spending a lot of time in the middle. Found his way forward and finds the scoreboard. 1-2-8 now the Pies. Still trailing the Tigers 3-2-20. 12-point Richmond lead on the scoreboard for Tyre Power. Kicking goals with 25% off on Toyo Tyres, Adam Cooney.
Well, he will not want to see the replay of that one, Noah Bolter, because he made one blue and then turned it into 50-metre penalty and a goal against his side, who were tracking really, really nicely. And he's come to the Pine for a spell, and I think he might be on the phone to the coach. So they had a 2-on-1 and just rode straight into the back of Mason Cox unnecessarily. Just needed to nudge him out and they would have been away again. Gave away the free kick and then threw the footy straight to the ground, which is, again, a cardinal sin. You have to give the ball back to the player. So he's turned one mistake into 2, and it's cost him 50 and a goal against. And now he sits down, and I'm waiting to see the phone go to his ear.
Another extraction from Dusty, but he wanted to engage by hand with Bolton. Cochin was able to force it outside of the square. Dusty wrapped up. Really good tackle from Elliott, and he's been pinned holding the ball. We don't often see it.
No, we don't. We hardly ever see it.
Rocking horse, you know what's as rare as.
In fact, we only really see it in the pre-season, don't we? Dusty get tackled holding the ball. But great work from Jamie Elliott, who is spending a little bit more time in the midfield.
Presenting his Mason Cox at centre half forward. Oh, there's a free kick. Saying that Curvis was shepherded out of it.
Oh, tell you what, there was
very little in that.
Very, very little in that. Mason Cox was always going to take the mark. Nankervis was 2 metres behind him. It was never going to affect the spoil, so it was one of their rare good forays forward.
Nathan Broad sporting the Sharpie-style haircut. Rioli had it fisted away. Umpires said it's chopping the arm. So that's two contentious ones in a row.
Yeah, not much in that one either. Got a bit of Sharon, I think, there. Darcy Moore.
Short. The kick was a little bit that, so he had to take it on the half volley. Fed it back to Rioli. Standing start. Got a lot of the belly of the ball, so high up and under. Just inside. Richmond's forward 50. Arts was well tackled by Pendlebury. Does the little rabbit punches to make it look like he's trying to get rid of it. Umpire says, all right, I'll throw it up. So ticking up the 20 minutes. Tyre Power, your trusted tyre experts. Scoreboard, the massive Easter sale. Pies repel off half-back again. Dacos run out of real estate with Bolton bearing down, and we'll have it thrown in just forward of centre. Richmond's way of going.
Staggering how often their back 6 to 7 are able to generate that spare player and an out number. I mean, it just happens time and time and time again. We've been seeing it, and we've seen it a few times already tonight from Richmond.
Nank Curvis just took it out of the ruck, heaves it inside forward 50. Rewalt with strength, just got rid of more. Paid the mark. Adam Cooney signalling a push. We'll have to have a look at the replay, but he'll go back and have the shot. 35 metres out, 45 angle.
Firstly, just too strong in the ruck. Nankervis opposed to Mason Cox. Edged him out of it too easily. And
was that an arm extension?
It was a slight extension, but it wasn't too bad, so I'll let him off.
Fourth in the comp for goals kicked last year, Jack Rewalt with 33, and he gets his first this evening. That trademark one finger salute, not the bad one, just the index.
But like the lady who was ScoMo who got a COVID vaccine and threw up the reverse feed. Straight in front of the Prime Minister. But let's have another look at it, a replay here. Go back, this is the ruck contest I'm having a look at in the monitor at the moment, so just too easy. Mason Cox has to be stronger in the ruck contest there. There was a sort of half in the side, half in the back push from Rewalt, so not too bad. I think I'm happy for the umpire to pay that as a mark because, again, we speak about Mason Cox having to be stronger in the contest there. I think Darcy Moore, as a key defender, would want to hold his position slightly stronger than what he did in that last marking contest too with Jack Rewalt.
Good to see young Will Kelly back out there. Turned a lot of heads. First goal with his first kick last year, but then just like everybody, we were shattered to see him with that elbow injury. So he's inside, deep forward 50 at the moment as Cochin is able to get another clearance. It just scrubs it up to right half forward and it'll trickle over the line with Howe and Arts in pursuit.
Let's have a look at the clearance numbers. Like it's
4-2-26 the Tigers, 1-2-8 on the scoreboard for Tyre Power, the massive Easter sale. This is the AAMI Community Series on AFL Nation for McDonald's, the McCafe barista-made coffee. Side did well, exchanged with Callum Brown. Dacos was taken a little roughly by Martin, and they're kind of called it a high fend on Dacos. So Dusty just short to Caddy laterally, and now he will load up. Top of the square, this is where the big men will go to work. Rewalt couldn't bring it to ground. Noble the crumbs, right back pocket, Howe, Moore, looping ball, Madgens, got a couple of metres, now we can steady. Just a bit too short for Hoskin Elliott, who did well to get it up off the deck and back to Pendlebury. Madgens run on, Pickett's going to wrap him up, you're gone. Yep. They didn't give up on the chase there, Richmond. They were running in numbers, Collingwood, and Pickett's up, and he just dashes around the man on the mark. Noble's partially smothered that and tried to claim the mark. It had gone 5 metres. Little fumble there.
They are fumbling under immense pressure at the moment, Collingwood, and not dealing with it all that well.
That was Ollie Henry, but he's got support. Noble now just heaves it down the line. It's out of bounds on the full as he was well taken as he kicked the ball. So one of the fresh faces for Collingwood, for rolled fast, fresh Vietnamese, is Ollie Henry. Just impressed in the scratch match last week, but a couple of nervous moments for him.
It's trademark Tiger pressure, but it's fumbly footy from Collingwood, and they don't quite know what to do with the ball when they're coming out of their back half. And they've tried to possess by hand and got run down. Their kicks forward of centre are getting turned over, so I'm not sure they've got an answer for how they're trying to move the ball. Certainly from defensive part of the ground to attacking 50 at the moment. They're getting caught out time and time again.
Certainly not as free-flowing as last night, where it looked like Carlton and St Kilda were much more intent on the attacking side of
Well, they tried early, didn't they? The first 3 or 4 minutes, Collingwood actually tried to be really positive with their ball movement. The thing is, when it breaks down early, then you go into your shell, and I feel like that's what they have done here.
So ball on the near wing in dispute. Cochin means it won't be in dispute for long. Clean hands. Martin, Edwards engaging all the big names there. Now back to Baker, who just fans it out a little wider to Caddy, directly below us on the near wing. Caddy now probes it inside, forward 50. Mason Cox stood underneath it and almost came down with it. Edwards the crumbs, feeds it outside, forward 50 to Martin. Caress to kick, hoping for Coleman Jones to take the mark. Dusty's butted up, and that's audacious to try the grubber kick inside the right forward pocket, and Collingwood have got numbers back on the line. And they'll bring it out, and this is Ollie Henry in the famous number 35.
Just covered off so quickly. Every Richmond player has a Collingwood opponent next to them, so nowhere to go from Ollie Henry. Long down the line again.
Grimes almost took the mark coming from 3 rows back. It's all Richmond at the fall of the ball. Pickett got it to Vlosten, and he centres it on the left. Martin almost got it over the back. Howe is there. Cool head in a crisis. Sire, Pendlebury, we know he's that and a whole lot more. Poise amongst the panic. Crisp. Tyler Brown running past, and they are out. Left half forward. Thomas streaming back to goal. Here's Elliot Baker not facing the ball. Doesn't matter. Elliot took the grab with Baker bearing down. Not an easy mark to take, and he'll go back and have a shot 10 metres out directly in front. Brilliant transition ball from Collingwood.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was a 20-metre handball from Scotty Pendlebury with 5 players around him, which opened that up. Not many players would have been able to have the vision and certainly the poise to be able to execute that under pressure, and thankfully the ball was in Scotty Pendlebury's hands.
So for their second goal of the quarter, Jamie Elliott on the runway, and he makes no mistake from directly in front. So the Pies have got a couple now. 2-2-14. They still trail by 12 points. 4-2-26. The Tigers for Ty Power. The massive Easter sale. Early impressions of how the two teams are going about it, Adam Cooney?
Well, that was a rare one from Collingwood, who were pinned inside 50 and tried to get the ball out, and then it was a quick transition. The hands from Pendlebury really just opened everything up. 20 metres sweeping ball over the shoulder. I think it was out to Maynard. From there, Josh Thomas actually worked really hard from the far side of the ground to make space. It was a 60, 70 metre run on that 45 angle to the near wing. He was out, so he worked harder than his Richmond opponent, and they haven't had that much space going forward. Richmond had squeezed up the defensive part of the ground and left some space out the back, so they've been really good in the way that they've set up. They're 6 or 7 behind the footy, but got caught out on that occasion, just sliding forward. So Collingwood, for the mistakes that they've made, hanging in there.
Give that one to Nankervis. Got it beautifully down to Martin at the back of that stoppage. We're in the middle of the restart, and that is a long penetrating kick inside forward 50. Maynard trying to repel. His kick smothered. Squirts out. Crisp is gang tackled by Caddy, and also Calvin Jones, who copped friendly fire from Cochin, who's just throwing his body around. I don't know.
He tried to take out Coleman Jones then.
He just sat on Coleman Jones.
Got a bit of a push from Maynard, but then came back and was going again.
Caddy gave it up to Dusty, who pulls the trigger right on the numbers. To the top of the square it goes. McIntosh tried to spin out of the Pendlebury tackle. Nothing doing. Had it a long time. Was able to get it to Nankervis. Oh, beautiful back step from Arts. Little scrubber from McIntosh just to the left-hand side. One behind. More quickly. Low, flat bullet to Ollie Henry. Noble receives it from him on the run. His kick hits up, a leading to Goey on the far wing. Now he's going to just drop it into some space for Madgen to run onto. He can take it and go, and he does. Jack Madgen. Now the entry inside, forward 50. Elliott had it for a long time, recovered at ground level, got rid of Baker. Now he's got Cox leading at the goal square. Brilliant work, Caddy, to fist it away. Kelly can't find a teammate by hand, and he might have won himself a free kick here, Will Kelly. And he has. Josh Caddy infringes. We'll have to have a look at the replay.
Just held on a fraction too long in the tackle, so yeah, clear free kick there. A good build-up from Collingwood. If you move the ball quickly, Darcy Moore's kick from full back, just a dart, and then they got some overlap run. Obviously the man on the mark can't move, so you need that overlap run to get the kick forward. It was to De Goey, and from there they did really well transitioning.
So Will Kelly from a tight angle, he's just going to push it across the face of goal, but it's a wonderful thing, legacy in football and the family tradition. And when you can see, as a Collingwood fan, the names Kelly, Dacos, Brown all running around, it really would put a smile on the dial of a lot of the Pies' long-term faithful, Adam Cooney.
Well, it certainly would. And they've got some talent, don't they? As Dusty's been made a free kick against for throwing his man out of the contest. Too much strength.
So there's the siren for quarter time. Well, last night there were 13 goals kicked. As Thomas set sail after the siren, it was never going to go close. 13 goals kicked in the first quarter. A little bit more tame in terms of scoring in this first quarter. 2-3-15 the Pies. 4-3-27 the Tigers on the scoreboard for Tyre Power. The massive Easter sale. So first quarter in the book. AAMI Community Series on AFL Nation for McDonald's. A smooth barista-made coffee from the McCafe. Available 24/7. It's the Tigers with a 12-point lead at quarter time.
That quarter on AFL Nation was for Tyre Power. 3 votes during the massive Easter sale.
It's Tyre Power's massive Easter sale with more great deals on big brand tyres. At Tyre Power, you'll get the power of our giant giveaway on Toyo tyres. Simply buy 3 and we'll give you 1 free on a great range of Toyo passenger car and SUV tyres. That's right, buy 3 and get 1 free on selected Toyo tyres at Tyre Power. Conditions apply. See website or in-store for details. Tyre Power's massive Easter sale is now on. Visit tyrepower.com.au or call 13 21 91 for your local owner-operator.
Want to win free coffee for an entire year? That's a lot of lattes. Just order a McCafe coffee on the My Macca's app for your chance to win. There are 25 winners every day. But hurry, limited time only. Ends 23/03/21. Visit mcdonalds.com.au/coffeecomp for full terms.
The 2021 AFL Record Pre-Season Edition is out now. Your must-have guide to a big season ahead. The Records fantasy experts, the traders, present all the options and tips on how to play AFL fantasy. There's profiles on every player, all important team lists and Guernsey numbers. Senior writer Ashley Brown brings you all the off-season news and in-depth look at the 2020 NAB AFL Draft. The AFL Record Pre-Season Edition. On sale now. Just $9.95 in newsagents, Coles and Coles Express, Woolworths and 7-Eleven.
Steady. If you've loved watching mini golf on TV, then tee off with the kids or friends at Albert Park Mini Golf and enjoy the challenge of their specially designed 18-hole mini golf course. Kids can grab an ice cream while mum and dad can enjoy a drink while they play. Albert Park Mini Golf fun for everyone. Check out the course and see great specials at albertparkminigolf.com.au.
New car sales are hot, and for a quality SUV or ute at a value price, check out Haval GWM at Astoria, Bentley East. The new GWM Cannon Ute has 4-wheel drive, dual cab, auto, diesel, and only $33,990 drive away. Haval SUV auto models are from only $22,990 drive away, and all have 7 years warranty. Plus, we need your trade-in, and we'll pay good money for it. Astoria Haval GWM, North Road, Bentley East, LMCT 10901.
It's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it.
Are you living a life of grime and grime doesn't pay? Get rid of it fast with Spitwater, Australia's #1 pressure cleaners. Right now, the tax man is on your side too with the instant tax write-off. Instant clean, instant write-off. Get it? Be quick or you won't get it. Clean to the max and get the tax. Call 1-800-SPITWATER now.
At Coles, we're helping lower the cost of your weekly shop with thousands of specials across the store, like half-price Cadbury Family Marvellous Creations or Bubbly Block Chocolate or Arnott Shapes Crackers, 160 to 190 grams. Coles, value the Australian way. Offer ends Tuesday.
Last year, he turned 130K into 500 grand for punters. Inside Track Club with Troy Little is back. With Inside Track Club, you're part of an exclusive punting group with Australia's best greyhound punter. Join Troy Little in live chat and video analysis for every greyhound race each Thursday and Saturday nights. SEN Inside Track Club. Join now. Book for one session and try it out, or get early bird deals and jump on board the year. sen.com.au/SEN Track.
Club banter, terms, fees and conditions apply. Gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-858-858.
The right equipment is integral to your business efficiency. Whether you need to acquire new or used equipment or generate working capital for your business, Morris Finance offers cost-effective and strategically structured asset finance. Morris Finance understands your business needs, offering the right solutions to grow your business to the next level. Morris Finance. More experience, more options and more time to talk. Call 1300-4MORRIS or visit morrisfinance.com.au. ACL 395249.
You're listening to AFL Nation for McDonald's. Smooth barista-made coffee from McCafe. Available 24/7.
Castagna just came out of nowhere, picked the pocket of Isaac Quaynor, took the mark, played on, and he gets the Tigers first. De Goey on the runway to get Collingwood's first. Looks very good off the boot. Looks even better when the umpire puts the two fingers straight out in front. Rewalt with 33, and he gets his first this evening. That trademark one-finger salute, not the bad one. Just the index. Marvel Stadium. 4-3-27 the Tigers at quarter time. 2-3-15 Collingwood on the scoreboard for Tyre Power. The massive Easter sale. Sam Hargraves, Adam Cooney with you. 2 goals to Jason Castagna for the Tigers in that first quarter. Rewalt and Edwards the other singles. And for the Pies, De Goey and Jamie Elliott their goal scorers. Adam Cooney, what stood out for you?
Oh, I think it was really positive early how Collingwood were trying to move the footy. I mean, they didn't go into their shell until they turned it over 2 or 3 times. So Isaac Quaynor was really good in terms of the positive ball movement, the kicks inside. But Richmond just are so professional the way that they set up, and they're so organised in their back six that it's just so hard to penetrate through there, and they couldn't do that and repeatedly turn the footy over. And then it was pretty slick from the Tigers, as we expect. I think Collingwood did well to certainly that late goal to keep them in the hunt, but Richmond just looked really slick the way that they're moving the footy. Short is at 11, Martin with 10, so getting amongst it is Dustin Martin. Edwards 8, Grimes 8. Johnny Noble's had 9 from the Pies. Jordan De Goey, who spent a little bit more time up the ground, which is what we like to see, has had 8, and Maynard with 7. If Collingwood can, and they're doing okay in the clearances, so they're more than matching it in there. But if they can get just that one extra mark or a lead up that hits 70 metres out from goal, then they can wheel and turn quickly and get some deeper entries into Mason Cox, because the shallow entries are being eaten up by Richmond defenders at times.
De Goey starting in the middle again for Collingwood. A free kick to start proceedings in the second quarter. It's going to Shane Edwards. He's just dropping it in a little bit of space. Dusty's ran on just forward of the centre circle. They'll spread wide. Short again. Coming a long way off the half-back line to be an option. Noble shut down the play on. So he just pumps it inside forward 50. Right forward pocket. Good fist away. Coleman Jones on Grundy, who got it back from Quaynor. And just standing start high and long down the line. Hoskin Elliott couldn't reel it in. It's touched going out of bounds, and we'll have it thrown in just forward of centre on the far wing.
Not sure what happened there with Hoskin Elliott. It was a regulation chest mark, and
I thought he just ran out of room.
I thought he must have thought it was out of bounds on the full. It slipped straight through his grasp, but it's a boundary throw-in, so it's a lapse of concentration, or not sure what happened there with Hoskin Elliott.
Free kick to Nankervis in the ruck, feeds it off by hand to Caddy. Imagine did well, got front spot on Castagna and took the grab. So just inside his defensive 50, he just a little sand wedge over the top. Noble tried the same club, but just didn't get the same elevation. Chopped off. And the Tigers have now got numbers at centre-half forward through Rewalt. Feeds it back to Bolton. He'll spread to the left-hand side. He's got McIntosh just to the left of centre-half forward. That was an awkward kick that came off the outside of the boot. Still marked by Baker, who shaped up to come around to his left. Or to his right and came back left. The kick a little too hot for Lambert, out of play in the left forward pocket. We'll have it thrown in.
Yeah, just pumped them up about how slick they were forward of centre, and they've had 3 entries inside 50, all been stinkers so far for the Tigers. Not sure how that actually even hit McIntosh's left boot. Might have come off his sock.
Coleman Jones holding on to Grundy, who got free, double palmed it down to Moore, who gave it back to Grundy, then to Crisp, and that's a fantastic smother from Rewalt, doing the 1%ers. Tyler Brown's kick gobbled up by Jack, and we'll have it thrown in again about 15 metres around from the Tigers' left point post. They're going to the Lockett end. Pies to the Coventry. Ball thrown in. Coleman Jones got rid of Grundy, did well to win it off the deck. Lambert, can he screw it back around over the left shoulder? Bounces in front of the behind line, and then Tyler Brown makes sure of it. A big fist over and a rush behind for the Tigers. First score of the second quarter.
Tough to defend. Forward 50 stoppage, and Lambert, Martin, Rioli, basically all on the fly. So it'd be really tough as a defender. They block really well and they get one person out, and they did on that last occasion. Just poor execution.
So Bolter did well to work Mason Cox under the ball, which opened the door for Nankervis. Puts it to the hot spot, 35 metres out. The pack converged, and Jack had to beat three. The three win out. Hoskin Elliott's done for incorrect disposal. Off a standing start, Edward just sends it back inside forward 50. Martin had it fisted away by Howe. Castagna couldn't connect with Caddy. Crisp, just a high up and under ball as he was falling away from the footy. Hoskin Elliott double fist over the line. And we'll have it thrown in at right half forward for the Tigers. About 80 from home.
Just hanging in there. They're peppering the inside 50s. They've had 4 already this quarter, and a few poor kicks inside 50, but Pies defenders are doing it resolutely at the moment.
13-point lead for the Tigers. Tyre Power Massive Easter Sales scoreboard. Collingwood had worked their way to centre wing on the far side. Fantastic Pendlebury tackle to shut down Bolton, and he wins a free kick. That's very low, but it finds a kneeling Braden Sire.
He's took a little step to the side then, Graham. I thought that might have been 50.
DeGoey takes it and plays on quickly. Mason Cox, just a little bit too high for him, which is saying something. Back of the pack, Grimes just drops it into some space 30 metres ahead. Vloston, he does the same. Taken on the bounce from Edwards at full stretch. That's a little scrubber kick that Martin's able to collect. He feeds it back. Graham now with a little space to operate in. Options inside. Jack leading back into left forward pocket. Moore made it a contest. Quaynor lends a hand under pressure from Rewalt. Looping ball. Crisp. Put the brakes on and able to send Baker in the wrong direction. In fact, it was Rioli. And Collingwood have done well to get down the near line. But Grimes rises up high and Kelly is hurting. So the knee into the shoulder, the left shoulder of Will Kelly, and he's coming straight off the ground. And he looks to be in a fair bit of pain. Clutching the collarbone, I reckon, Adam Cooney.
Yeah, it was a knee from Dylan Grimes straight into the collarbone. So straight down to the rooms. He knows he's in trouble. It was just a poor kick. Just completely set him up there. Feel for Will Kelly.
Graham's infringed on Trey Rusco over the shoulder. At centre-half back, Richmond had horseshoed around to the far side of the ground and to half forward, and Collingwood win it back courtesy of a free kick. So Trey Rusco already got a little cult following, one of the very cool footy names. A free kick going against Grundy.
I think Mum's that impressed. Was it Trey Rusco that Mum said, was everyone falling over when he got his debut last year?
That's right, it was too. How good was that? Broad, a lot of elevation on that kick. Coleman Jones had to camp underneath it at the back of the pack. Howe got it to Moore. Nicely measured ball to that man, Rusco. His kick good, leading up into the centre of Marvel Stadium is Ollie Henry. A little undecided. Oh, gave it to Goey, who was under a heap of pressure already from Lambert, and they've turned it over here. Baker was almost tripped, somehow kept his feet. Edwards left it behind. Don't often say that. Martin just got rid of Thomas. Opened the door for Graham. Fans it out to the left-hand side. Rioli, little show to the left, and then went to his right. Edwards tries to spin out of the DeGoey tackle. Got a handball clear somehow inside forward 50. 49 from home. Lambert turns on the left foot. Spreads it to the left-hand side. Laterally. And at half forward, McIntosh arcs around, big, long, looping arc, and he puts it straight through the middle, playing on and nailing it from 48 metres out. First goal of the second quarter, and it goes to the Tigers. That's their fifth. 5-4-34. 19-point lead over the Pies. 2-3-15 for Tyre Power. Massive Easter sale.
Well, they were out in the middle of the ground, Collingwood, and it was just a young player having his first taste on the big stage and just sort of humbled, didn't know what he was doing with the ball, and saw a senior player in front of him handball to a stationary target and turned the ball over in the middle of the ground. It was Ollie Henry, so he'll learn from that. There's been a couple, 2 possessions going forward from Collingwood players that have completely set up their teammates. Will Kelly is in the rooms at the moment. He's completely hospital balled by his teammate. Dylan Grimes came through, collected him with the knee, and Ollie Henry just a stationary target. So 2 turnovers there and went back the other way. But that's the advantage of the man on the mark rule from Camden McIntosh. Knew he couldn't move until he arced off his line and got an extra 7 or 8 metres out of it before the player on the mark could actually move, and no chance of getting it from there, and a nice clean finish.
Adam Cooney on AFL Nation for the McCafe barista-made coffee. Umpire took a mulligan on the bounce and threw it up instead. Cochin, just through sheer determination, was able to get a kick forward to centre half forward. At the fall of the ball was Graham, has got support in Pickett, right half forward. He was able to put him inside, and Rewalt was worked underneath it brilliantly by Moore in the one-on-one. Called to play on now as he went off his line. Near side, Marlon Pickett got back with the flight. With Maynard bearing down, he took the mark. Gives it to Short, walking the tightrope, hemmed in on the boundary at right half forward. Moore again wins the one-on-one with Rewalt. The big fist puts it through for a rush behind. So that's just a couple of one-on-one wins in a row for Darcy Moore, All-Australian centre-half back last year, Coons.
Yeah, he's been good in the air. Jack's had a couple of... Oh, gee, Jeremy Howe's gone down.
He actually hit the ground, I think, when he was trying to kick that ball, and he's turned it over. Graham's got options inside. Arts didn't know Noble was there, got around him, but isn't going to get around the second tackler.
It was Jeremy Howe who needed to make amends. I thought he'd actually done his hamstring or so, done his Achilles, but he just genuinely kicked his boot straight into the turf
and face planted.
Footing, did the face plant, and he's come back up with the Sharon. So good second effort. But Darcy Moore just going back, he's had some good one-on-one wins, but too often I see him kick off one step. It's a lazy. He tries to do those bullet passes, but he has no momentum up running through the ball. So he's turned the ball over a couple of times. Just needs to get some momentum up when he kicks it.
Well, they're turning it over at will, both these sides. Collingwood had turned it over, and just as soon did they do that Richmond give it back to them. Noble finds a target. Tyler Brown to Goey. Collared by Broad, loses the handle. Cochin there to mop up. He misfires by a hand to Edwards, who's got time to recover, gather, run his measure. Comes to left half forward, so they come across the ground to the near side. Rioli takes the mark, and he just centres it up and squares it up to the bottom left-hand point of the square. Caddy, left forward pocket lead from Rewalt, and Chris got back with the flight, and the one-handed pluck was good for the grab. And the kick was even better out in front of a leading Josh Thomas to the near side.
Jack might have copped a bit from a crowd member and just threw up how many flags he's won in the last few years.
Jordan Lewis.
Just a little bit of 4-time from doing like Jordan Lewis style.
Little three-man weave through the middle. Graham, Asprey. That's a very nicely measured ball. Jake Arts was in between two Collingwood players who were 5 metres either side and converging. Kick had to be perfect, and it was from Asprey, and he takes the mark 35 metres out directly in front.
Nice play from Dave Asprey. Weaved his way through, coming out of defence. Another poor kick forward from Collingwood, but has been turnover city, really, from both teams in this second quarter. Real yucky stuff, Samuel.
It was a great story last year, wasn't it, Jake Arts? Beaconsfield boy, played VFL for Bendigo with Richmond. Found his way into this side, played 14 games and kicked 14 goals.
Yep. As I said, you have him in your same gamer for one at any time.
No good here, though, on the set shot. It went to the left-hand side. Maynard brings the Pies near side. Howe was bumped out of it by McIntosh, kept his feet and won it back off the deck. Chris gave it back to Howe. They retreat inside defensive 50. Callum Brown to Howe. Sire involved, looping it over the top of an oncoming Baker, which gave Crisp a little bit of real estate to work through, and he was able to hit up Tyler Brown. Maynard ran past him, looping handle over the top. Dacos with pressure coming from Arts. He arcs around onto the right boot. Mason Cox has got some separation. I reckon that's got to be a free kick to Mason. Surely was manhandled by Bolter. The kick from Elliott was smothered. Sire goes in and wins it back for the Pies. Dacos just outside 50. That's a brilliant little caress on the left foot. And he hits up Trey Rusco 35 metres out directly in front.
Well, you'd love Dacos to have 20 possessions forward of centre a game, because he just makes great decisions when he's got ball in hand. And spotted up Mason Cox, should have got the free kick. Bolter came careering into him, not keeping his eyes on the footy, so missed out on the first one. Dacos ended up making position just outside 50, getting it back, and a crafty little left foot ball around the corner. Just so assured with Sharon in hand.
So Rusco, little hop, skip before he gets into his run-up. He's trying to work it back from left to right. No good. So behind, and a rare foray inside forward 50 in this quarter for the Pies.
Well, they got there because they took the game on. Crisp used his leg speed, cut through a few, and then they used a quick handball over the top. So you've got to get through this Richmond defence and midfield. You've got to take the game on.
They win it back at right half forward. Sire gets involved. Kick to a 2-on-1, and the two win out. Short, though. He's handballing over the head of Graham. They're in trouble here. Bolton coughed it up as well. Rusco off a standing start, just jams it onto the left boot and put it out of bounds on the full to the left-hand side.
Yeah, Short, they were out too. Richmond had the counter-attack. Extra number back, and Short just missed the handball by 3 or 4 metres, really. And Rusco's had a couple of cracks at it. If he wants to crack into this team, Lemon Rusco, he's got to finish those reasonably easy opportunities, you'd call them.
Tyler Brown was able to get a little scrubber kick, which only went about 1 metre for it. Was chopped off. Cochin couldn't take it with him. There's a big pack around this ball on the far side wing. Graham emerges, somehow stepped around. He's collared by Quaynor. Probably could have won himself a free kick, Quaynor. A little grass cutter that exited the congestion is mopped up by Moore. In the middle is Pendlebury. That's a standing start kick from him, looking for Ollie Henry. He gave it straight to Dave Asprey. Charging off and receiving hands is Liam Baker. McIntosh gave it up, though. Crisp is running himself into a fair bit of trouble. Baker just grabbed it out of his hands. Crisp has to turn tackler. Umpire crosses arms and says, I'll throw it up on the near wing directly between the centre square and the boundary. Pendlebury at the back of the pack. Crisp on the drive-by. Gets it and just wobbles it inside forward 50. Short the intercept mark with Cox bearing down. Oh, and again they're taking their chance through the corridor. Kick just had enough elevation to get it to Grimes, and by hand now to Bolton. They go to the far side. Loston, that's a nice ball to Castagna all on his own. Now he comes into the corridor. Lambert couldn't reel it in. Had enough time to regather. Bounced it over the head of 2 players. And just storming out of centre half back. Collingwood now at right half back. Pendlebury will slow it down.
Good kick.
That's a nice kick. The middle's opened up for them now. The Browns combine backyard style. They drive it inside forward 50 over the head of DeGoey going back towards goal. Elliott took the ball and pirouetted out of the tackle. Mason Cox on the second grab. DeGoey with a little bit of time, and he works it back brilliantly on his left boot from 45 metres out on a 45 angle. Quality finish. Their first goal for the quarter. 15 minutes played in it. 3-4-22 the Pies. 14-point leaders are the Tigers. 5-6-36 for Tyre Power. Kicking goals are 25% off on Toyo tyres.
Well, they did their best to mark up the entry inside 50. It was a poor kick, but Elliott did really well. But all it takes when you're coming out of your back half is for one player with class and poise to get the ball in their hand, and it was Scott Pendlebury. It's the second time he's had the ball and cleared space. That time it was a kick inside, straight into the middle of the ground. Saw a free Collingwood player, and it's really hard to defend once you go back into the middle. You've got the whole 50 to work with, and Scotty Pendlebury, he did it by hand in the first quarter, which resulted in a goal from Jamie Elliott, and he's done it again by foot there with a beautiful drop punt through to the middle of the ground.
Darcy Cameron into the ruck with DeGoey, Tyler Brown and Braden Sire. Richmond, though, had Cochin, Bolton and Martin. No prizes for guessing which trio were able to come away with it. Callum Jones heard a voice of Edwards but gave it straight to Moore in the left back pocket. Clever little slap from McIntosh. Callum Jones with some space to operate with. Screws it back around the body. Pendlebury flies at the top of the square. Art stayed down. Dodges, Weavers, underground handball. Caddy, quick snap. Goes across the face of goal from 10 metres out on the angle. Moore gets moving quickly. Darcy Cameron, that's a strong pluck in front of Jaden Short. Umpire says come back, and don't move, and he doesn't. So Cameron can run his measure. Kick was a little bit too high for Tagoe. It was fisted away by Asprey. Booted off the deck, laying a slipper in. Was Bolton, kicked it straight into the back of Graham, and now Collingwood with numbers. Callum Brown, Tyler Brown, waxing again the Browns. Quaynor fed it back to Cameron. Oh, this kick chopped off as well. Rioli intercepts in front of Crisp. Just on the line of the centre square at centre half forward for the Tigers. So he just lays it up into the right forward pocket to give Castagna a run at it. He was easily able to outbody Maynard. He took the grab. We'll go back and have a shot from 45 metres out on a tighter than a 45 angle.
Well, I mentioned the class of Scotty Pendlebury when he gets the footy, and that kick inside opens the whole ground up. Unfortunately, on the other side of the ground, similar position, the ball came out to Big Darcy Cameron. Tried to bite off more than he could chew and turned the ball over to Rioli inboard, and the result is a shot at goal.
Kick 2 in the first quarter. Castagna, kick on the way, just to the... Oh, no, it snuck home. Umpire went a long way to his right-hand side. Extra coat of paint would have made it interesting, but Castagna's got 3 and the Tigers get their 6th, and they're back out to 20-point leaders. 18 minutes played, second term for Taipower. The massive Easter sale, AAMI Community Series and AFL Nation for McCafe barista-made coffee, Adam Cooney.
Well, under pressure through the middle of the ground, Collingwood, and they were able to feed back to the extra players who were sitting out the back of the pack, and unfortunately the player on the end of it was the big fella in Darcy Cameron. Probably wanted to get that out to a player like Jamie Elliott or Scotty Pendlebury, and he tried the one-step kick inboard, and it's frightful stuff when the big boys try and do that.
They've put him straight back to full forward now. The experiment in the middle is no more.
Yeah. You want him launching and taking the footy at its highest point, and maybe handballing off to other midfielders around him. Rodney wouldn't let him kick for the rest of the game if that was to happen at the Bulldogs. He has been known to ban players from training, and no kicking at training as well.
Grundy got first hand to it. Tagoe dispossessed Martin. A lot of ink combining there. Strong tackle short to wrap up Callum Brown. Ball squirts out of that congestion. Martin, good bump on side to try and create a path, which Noble went through in the end, and he wins himself a free kick.
Right.
High contact, and Martin dumped him after 2. Lucky not to give away 50. So still inside the centre square. John Noble winds up. It'll go right to the top of the goal square. And Curvis got a big fist on it. Edwards, can he control a hot peel? Yes, he can.
Very nicely done.
Just loops it out of harm's way by hand to Caddy, and he finds Jake Arts by foot at left half back.
Soft hands from Shane Edwards. That ball was mongrelling all over the deck, and
well described. That is very well described. It's exactly what it was doing.
Full mung. He controlled it brilliantly, Edwards.
Darcy Cameron collects at the back of a pack that formed left half forward for the Tigers, and he handballed into the foot of a teammate. Cochin's kick was partially smothered. So ball in dispute now. Oh, Elliott was just harder than Arts was, and won the contest and the ball. By hand on the bounce to Thomas. Elliott's run on. Maynard to his right-hand side. Boundary line might beat everybody here. Elliott goes again. 3 contests in a row. And Maynard's held on to Grimes inexplicably to give away a free kick.
Oh, geez.
What about the efforts from Elliott there, though?
Yeah, it was good. Kept his eye on the footy, won it back for his team and followed on again. Just great from Dylan Grimes coming back the other way to put that frontal pressure on and win it free for his side.
Jack Graham gets on the end of a Shane Edwards handball. A succession of corridor linking play, and he's set sail on the run and puts it to the left hand side, one behind. So after all the accuracy that we were enjoying last night, 6-7-43 the Tigers, 3-4-22 the Pies, not following the script of last night. It's a strong mark. Caddy got to the front of the kick in.
It was free flowing, is it? A bit more defence.
We've got a couple of texts last night for people begging for defensive structures, so they'll be very happy with what they're seeing here. So the load-up kick to the top of the square. Castagna almost brought it down after a couple of bites. Front and square, Graham running the opposite way. Feeds it back unselfishly. McIntosh shaped to go right. Came back on the left. Inside of the boot, it came off. And Tyler Brown's able to collect again to brother Callum. Magin's kick. Martin got a hand on it. Opportunity for McIntosh. Slapped it to Arts. Well tackled Callum Brown. Got a handball free. Tyler Brown comes in. Maybe a high fend. Umpire letting it go. No, calling him for holding the ball. Jake Arts will get the free kick. 55 metres from home. Feeds off to Martin. Didn't want to go onto the left. Oh, that's a beautifully caressed ball on the right
You called play on, the umpire.
Well, the peripheral vision was good. Lambert, though, got called to play on. So to the top of the square it goes. Out the back, Grundy has to be clean here. He was with the Superman handball. Important hand, though, from Nankervis to dispossess Howe.
Handball to himself.
Quaynor handballed the ball to himself. Beautifully called by Adam Cooney. Just thumps it straight down the ground. But there's no one home for Collingwood. And the 3 win out over the 1. And the Tigers are away again. Far side. Lambert to McIntosh. Can he think his way through this? Again to a 1-on-2, and Arts has got too much taller men to beat in the form of Howe and more. Quaynor mops up. Noble, well tackled by Nankervis. Got the handball clear after being 360'd, and Quaynor skips away. Switches onto the near side, but it's shut down again by Caddy, who took the mark in front of Thomas. And they go corridor again. Shea Bolton just inside the centre square. Risky kick to Graham, who takes the mark with Hoskin Elliott bearing down. So he releases Broad, who runs his measure, and a high up and under again, top of the square. Roughhead flew with an important fist. Quaynor had it stolen out of his breadbasket. Oh, quick little gather, turn and snap from Castagna. And it just goes to the right-hand side. But what about the thievery from Jason Castagna?
It's been everywhere. Castagna, when I say everywhere, I mean everywhere inside the forward 50.
Yeah.
He hasn't left the forward 50 all game, but he has been the most dangerous forward on the ground this evening. He's in everything.
Quaynor, another possession. He's had a heap of them in this quarter. That's a smart kick to go to the much taller Grundy, and Baker just ran straight at him and knew the moment that he made contact that was a free kick.
Quaynor and Noble been quite brilliant, the two of them, off half back and through the middle of the ground. They've done some running, 25 between them, 13 to Noble, 12 to Quaynor.
Oh, it's going to open up here if Collingwood out the back. Hoskin Elliott, 55 from home. That's brilliantly weighted helicopter ball. Sliding in and taking it on the knees is Ollie Henry. He's had some uncomfortable moments.
Does he, you think? Fancies himself from here?
He's putting the right shoulder to goal.
He's in the change room.
He's going to go on the left boot. It's a 35-metre snapshot. It's working. It's working. Just not enough. Thought his way through it nicely, though, Adam Cooney, and had the confidence to take the shot.
He wanted it. De Goey was calling for it about 15 metres away and just said, no, this is my time. Nearly got the job done too. He's got some sideburns on him too, Ollie Henry. Mattingly.
Luckily, Graham had some support there. The kick in was interesting from a Tigers point of view because he was red hot, but he was infringed upon. Yes. Jack Graham. And he just lays it out to the near side. Oh, Baker got just a nice little rib tickler from Ollie Henry when he took the mark. He comes shorter again. Still at left half back, this time with Dylan Grimes. Pendlebury stands the mark.
Winding her down, I think, into slow play here. Yep. So we've got 50 seconds to go.
AFL Nation for the McCafe Barista Made Coffee.
Oh, that's yuck. That's really yuck from Boston. Just one step kick, straight out of bounds on the full.
Pendlebury, brilliantly sold a heap of candy, and Noah's got a sweet tooth. To the top of the square goes Pendles. Ollie Henry wanted a free kick for high. Umpire not having any of it. Ball in dispute at the top right-hand point of the square. Extracting it brilliantly was Pickett to Baker. And it ends up with Caddy just where the 50 meets the boundary. So again, the Tigers' defence resolute.
Some sort of meme being made currently from that Noah Bolter. Broken ankles.
Oh, yeah.
He hit the deck pretty hard too, Noah. He bought everything that Scotty was selling.
Yep. I'll take the lot.
Yeah.
If it was a car, he got the protective coating, he got the heated seats, he got the extra mats.
Yeah. He certainly bought it, didn't he?
Yep. And then he ate it. So there's a siren. So a bit of an arm wrestle this game. 6-8-44 the Tigers. Collingwood 3-5-23. 26 minutes played in that quarter for Tyre Power. The massive Easter sail. And Ollie Henry may almost giving us a moment with a left foot snap from the set shot on the boundary. He's a fresh face for rolled. Family made Vietnamese, served fast and fresh. Half time at Marvel Stadium. Sam Hargraves, Adam Cooney. This is the AAMI Community Series on AFL Nation for McDonald's. A smooth barista made coffee from the cafe is available 24/7.
great quarter on AFL Nation was for Repco Authorised Service. For expert car service you can rely on, visit repcoservice.com.au.
As part of Victoria's big build, we're upgrading the Sunbury line. Major track, power and station platform upgrades will allow bigger, more modern trains to run on the line. As we bring the pieces together, buses replace trains between Flagstaff, North Melbourne and Sunbury at various times from the 26th of February to the 10th of March. Find out if you're affected at bigbuild.vic.gov.au. Authorised by the Victorian Government, Melbourne.
Want to win free coffee for an entire year? That's a lot of lattes. Just order a McCafe coffee on the My Macca's app for your chance to win. There are 25 winners every day. But hurry, limited time only. Ends 23/03/21. Visit mcdonalds.com.au/coffeecomp for full terms.
Tyre Power have topped the customer satisfaction table again. That's right, Tyre Power received the coveted CanStar Blue Most Satisfied Customer Award for the second year running, making them winners 6 out of the last 7 years. We're proud and thankful to know that you voted for Tyre Power to receive 5-star reviews in every category of customer satisfaction. So when you need new tyres, go to the undisputed leaders in the field, Tyre Power. Visit your local owner-operator or find us at tyrepower.com.au.
Why haven't you heard of a grand utility vehicle until now? Introducing the all-new 8-seat Kia Carnival with a bold and modern SUV-inspired design, class-leading tech and advanced safety features. Don't compromise on space, comfort and style. We didn't just make an 8-seat family car, we made a grand utility vehicle. Book a test drive and experience the thrill of the all-new Kia Carnival GUV.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Hello. Over 2 years ago, National Tiles permanently slashed the price of Australia's largest selling tile from $25 to under $10 per metre every day of the year. 2 years on, National Tiles price is still under $10 every day of the year. Go to our website now to see for yourself why National Tiles is renowned for having the guaranteed lowest priced quality tiles in Australia every day of the year.
I think he's stride by stride. She's a mighty filly.
This is Rob Slade from Slade Bloodstock. Join the all-conquering Mar Eustace stable in an outstanding Zoustar colt. The stable are taking racing by storm. The colt is Magic Millions and Bobs, an ideal colt for the $2 million Magic Millions 2-year-old classic. 5%, $8,950. Finance available. Buy or share yourself or form a syndicate of friends. It's that easy. Contact me now on 0417 036 865 or go to sladebloodstock.com.au. AFS 226 373.
Footy is back at the G this AFL season, and it's time to get comfy. Give your colleagues and clients something to cheer about and book your MCG Premium experience this AFL season at mcg.org.au/premium.
State Transport, our people are your solution. We'll move it or store it with absolute ease. We're highly skilled and we aim to please. When you need the best, forget the rest. It's time to put us to the test. State Transport, our people are your solution.
Head to statetransport.com.au.
At Rolled Vietnamese, we don't mind how you eat as long as it's fresh. We're talking Vietnamese dinner, like Mum made, without the messy kitchen, but all the love. So go on, bite into banh mi, crunch soldiers, slurp pho. Eat bao with your hands. Talk with your mouth full of gai. Keep your elbows on the table. That's how we roll. Rolled, fast, fresh Vietnamese. Download the Rolled app to order now.
You're listening to AFL Nation. For McDonald's, smooth barista-made coffee from McCafe. Available 24/7.
And at half forward, McIntosh arcs around, big, long, looping arc, and he puts it straight through the middle, playing on and nailing it from 48 metres out. Castagna, kick on the way, just to the... Oh, no, it snuck home. Umpire went a long, long way to his right-hand side. Extra coat of paint would have made it interesting, but Castagna's got 3 and the Tigers get their 6th. So just a couple of goals kicked in that quarter, one apiece for both sides. Actually, the Tigers got 2 to be 6-8-44 to Collingwood 3-5-23. So a 21-point lead to the Tigers at the main break. Welcome back to the AAMI Community Series on AFL Nation. For McDonald's, a smooth barista-made coffee from the cafe is available 24/7. Sam Hargraves, Adam Cooney with you for the second game of the AAMI Community Series. 26-point winners were the Saints over the Blues last night. But this is the halftime floor show now, thanks to Choices Flooring.
The Choices Flooring Halftime Floor Show. Healthy Homes Spring Sale on now. See your room change in an instant with Room View by Choices Flooring.
Adam Cooney, that halftime score is for Tyre Power, your premiership favourite for Toyo Tyres. So last night we saw a much higher scoring game where defence probably wasn't at the premium that it seems to be here tonight. And we were trying to find the most apt word to describe especially that second quarter just in the break, and we've come up with scrappy.
Yeah. It was pretty scrappy, wasn't it? Both sides certainly had opportunities to counter-attack off half-back due to poor entries inside 50, but through the middle of the ground it broke down for Richmond and also Collingwood. 6 goals, 8-44. It's probably not a reflection of certainly the way that Richmond played in the first quarter, but there was a lot of turnovers. There was a lot of inboard kicking that hit the deck. A bit fumbly from the Pies. What we're looking for, though, is a bit of young talent time, particularly in the pre-season. I think Tyler Brown, the Brown brothers actually been prolific in this game. Tyler Brown's up to 14, leads all comers along with Jeremy Howe, his name is, from the Pies. Johnny Noble and Quaynor, I think they've worked really well together this evening. They've had 13 each, and also Callum Brown with 10. So if you're looking for positives for Collingwood, certainly the young fellas, Tyler... the Brown brothers, Tyler and Callum, have been very good, as has Johnny Noble and Isaac Quaynor.
Isn't Brown Brothers a wine?
Brown Brothers is a wine, yes. I believe they do some sort of like a Moscato. I think might be one of their favourites.
The Jordan De Goey experiment as an on-baller, it seems to be working well. He's got 10 disposals to half-time, but he's kicked 2 out of their 3 goals as well. When he snuck forward, he's created headaches.
He has. He's one of those players, isn't he, that can dominate through the middle of the ground and also so hard to match up on one-on-one forward of the footy. He's got a couple of clearances, just the 2 for the evening, but I think he reads the ball really well off Brodie Grundy's hand, certainly better than some of the other midfielders.
They've combined a few times.
It has been an issue for Collingwood and Brodie Grundy. Hit-outs are a big tick. Hit-outs to advantage, not so much, and also leading into clearances, and quality clearances has been an issue for the last couple of years with Collingwood. But I think that the more time that Jordan De Goey spends in there with Brodie Grundy, the better off they'll be. Just seen a couple of times the connection between the two has really been good. So that's a positive. From a Richmond perspective, Dylan Grimes has been unbelievable tonight. He has had 7 intercept marks in this game already.
He's got 11 in total.
He's had 11 marks, 7 intercept marks for 16 disposals.
81% efficiency too.
Well, 81% of the time it works every time. I think that's what they say.
87 for Edwards. The other stat that I'm liking here, Jaden Short, best and fairest winner last year, and it's often... And I don't think it's underrated within, I suppose, a club point of view and with a footy fraternity point of view. But to be a best and fairest in a premiership year means you've had a exceptional season in your own right. And he was a best and fairest last year. He's had 571 metres in a half of footy. We saw Brad Hill have over 500 and we were laughing about it last night. But there seems to be a little bit more space at times, and he's taking full advantage, especially when you're a player who is a run carry, and if you're, a 50-metre kick like he and Hill are, you can end up being sort of 80 to 100-metre players.
Yeah, he's had a
possession.
He's had a terrific evening. It's just noticeable. He's one who gets the footy, and you're right, he takes that 5 or 6 really quick steps to be able to buy himself some space and then kicks the footy 40, 50 metres and even longer at times. So he's been brilliant. He's had 21 for the evening, but probably want to see a little bit more out of Coleman Jones. I want to see a bit more out of Pickett. Rioli's been reasonably quiet. Noah Bolter has had a stinker of an evening so far. He gave away a 50-metre penalty. So there's a couple of question marks leading into round 1 in terms of the last probably 2 to 3 spots in Richmond's best 22. They've got a couple of injuries. Obviously, Basher Hooley still out. They've got a couple more to come back in. So there's still 1 or 2 spots available, and sort of in terms of the young talent time we speak about from Collingwood, those players have almost cemented their spot now for round one. The Brown brothers, Noble, Quaynor playing brilliant footy. And just on the other side of it, there's just been a few who need to lift. Mabio Chol, Collier Dawkins, Derek Egg-Malesi-Smith, Will Martin hopefully get an opportunity in the second half to show their wares. But yeah, it was a scrappy second quarter. Richmond opened it up a little bit, showed their class in the first, but certainly come back to that scrappy pre-season form that most teams are to be expected to throw out now. But only the one game.
Yep.
There's not too long to fine-tune it before round one.
Those fresh faces for rolled, family-made Vietnamese, served fast and fresh. The Macca's moment of the first half for you from McDonald's McCafe barista-made coffee?
Macca's moment in the first half. Does it have to be a positive? Or could it be
no.
My Macca's moment is just Noah Bolter. I mean, he's got unbelievable talent, this guy.
Yep.
And he's athletic, and his speed off the mark is brilliant. He's strong. He's got all the attributes, but he's just had an evening that he'd rather forget. He's made a couple of mistakes and just seems to... his mind goes a million miles an hour. So he gave away a reasonably regulation free kick, threw the ball to the ground, and it was a clear 50-metre penalty. This is when Richmond had the game on their terms, and it was a goal against. So you can't be giving those ones up in a premiership team. Noah Bolt just needs to relax just a little bit.
Some varying reports coming back and feedback coming in off the text. Nadia not happy with the accuracy of the commentary, so wanting us to do better there. But this text, Sam, I think you and your minions do an amazing job with the commentary. So
I did notice you pick up your phone halfway through that. So
good job.
You haven't texted through yourself.
Great job to you, minion. You're doing
a little minion.
Earlier we were talking about...
I've been called a lot of things, but never a minion.
And
Sam.
You certainly are not. If anything, it would be reversed in this situation. We were talking earlier about what effects fatigue is going to have this year with the reduced caps, and I made the point that there's nothing that we do better when we're fatigued and tired except sleep. Dean has said, hey dude, your hot take on fatigue whilst towing the AFL line is that of a moron. What do humans do better when tired? The ones with ticker show strength of character. Let athletics have the middle distance runners. Give footy back to the footy players. Dean, I think you and I are actually saying the same thing. I don't agree with the rule. I don't think reduced interchanges will have the effect that people are hoping for, because I don't think we'll get more higher scores from fatigued players. I don't think we'll see better skills from fatigued players. Yes, there'll be those who will be able to work their way through the pain, and it might open up a little bit. But I think you and I are actually saying the same thing. I don't want it to be a game where the athletes dominate. I don't think that tired players will be more accurate in front of goal. I don't think tired players will hit more targets to create more chances inside forward 50. So I think you and I are actually agree, dude.
When did we get to that stage where there was a period that athletes were being drafted over pure footballers? Was it
late
mid-2000s? Sort of
I thought it was
2010?
Late-ish 90s.
Oh, really? I reckon that.
Early.
So I got drafted in 2003, and there was pretty minimal rotations. Like if you were on the bench, you might have sat there for 3 quarters. And I feel like the pure footballers were still being drafted at that stage. They certainly didn't draft me for my athletic
You could
prowess.
be right, because I reckon it wasn't. It
was almost like the
Sam
project.
Mitchell missed out on a couple of drafts because
players,
they didn't think he was an athlete.
Yeah, there was a point, I think mid-2000, maybe in 2008, 9, 10, where the game sort of changed and went to athletes, and that was when rotation started to increase. So there was a lot more space to run around back in my day. So I think maybe if they do reduce the rotations, it forces two things: to go to Tokyo and get some Olympians to come and play AFL footy, or it forces players to stay in their positions more, which is what I'm hoping the latter.
We'll talk more about that on the other side of this. That was a halftime floor show. Thanks to Choices Flooring. Main break at Marvel Stadium. We will get to those texts that are coming through in just a moment. Dave in Townsville will answer your question on the other side of this. The second half coming up very shortly. 6-8-44, the Tigers 21-point leaders over the Pies, 3-5-23. This is the AAMI Community Series on AFL Nation for McDonald's Smooth Barista-made coffee from the McCafe. It's available 24/7.
You're listening to AFL Nation for McDonald's. Smooth barista-made coffee from McCafe. Available 24/7.
Guy means upholding responsibilities, staying true to your flavour, your style. Guy means feeling fresh with Viet salads from rolled Vietnamese. For a limited time only, enjoy any flavour of the Guy Viet salad from Rolled for just $8.50. Guy Viet salad, because we're a responsible business. Just that sauce. Feeling fresh value deals. That's how we roll. Rolled. Fast, fresh Vietnamese. Order yours today in-store, online or download the Rolled app.
Sometimes needing new tyres can catch us by surprise. That's why Tyre Power gives you the power of Zip Pay and Zip Money. It means you can get what you need now, get back on the road safely and pay for it later, taking advantage of the interest-free periods. So if you need new tyres or mechanical repairs, don't wait till it gets worse. Get them now with Zip Pay or Zip Money at Tyre Power. No fuss, no wait, no worries. Terms and conditions apply. So visit tyrepower.com.au or call 13 21 91 for your local owner-operator.
Get your drinks sorted in time for the footy with Dan Murphy's Delivery.
Hi, Gary Lyon here for Dan Murphy's. I can't wait for Nathan Fyfe this season to play more footy forward and kick 50 goals plus and win another Brownlow medal.
Fyfe whizzes around, opens up the goal front, snaps it through.
Fyfe turning around the corner, doing what Brownlow medalists do.
Get drinks delivered to your door in under 2 hours via the Dan Murphy's app. Download the Dan Murphy's app today. T's and C's apply. Drink responsibly.
Hello, welcome to Bank.
Hi, I've just seen an ad for Athena Home Loans Accelerates where they lower your rate the more you pay down your loan. Do you do that?
Why on earth would we do that? People would pay down their mortgages faster.
Well, yeah, I think that's the point.
No, the point of a home loan is to make the bank money.
Is that all you guys care about?
What do you mean by care?
Switch at athena.com.au and the more you pay down your loan, the more we'll lower your rate so you can pay off your home loan faster. Athena, love us and leave us. Standard credit criteria, terms, conditions and government charges apply.
I think he's stride by stride. She's a mighty filly.
This is Rob Slade from Slade Bloodstock. Join the all-conquering Ma Eustace stable in an outstanding Zoustar colt. The stable are taking racing by storm. The colt is Magic Millions and Bobs, an ideal colt for the $2 million Magic Millions 2-year-old classic. 5%, $8,950. Finance available. Buy a share yourself or form a syndicate of friends. It's that easy. Contact me now on 0417 036 865 or go to sladebloodstock.com.au.
AFS 226 373.
The all-new Canon dual cab ute is on display at SEN and GWM Havel, featuring 8-speed auto, diesel motor, alloy wheels and a 9-inch touchscreen with Apple CarPlay. All from just $33,990 drive away, including a 7-year GWM warranty and 5 years cap servicing. There's easy finance and don't forget the instant asset write-off is available.
T's and C's apply.
SEN and GWM Havel, 600 Mount Alexander Road. Call 90 80 11 11.
LMCT 10092.
As a golf fan and broadcaster, I've been lucky to witness some of the great golf moments in history. Now it's your turn at Yarra Bend. If you're a first-time golfer or veteran of 50 years, Yarra Bend awaits. It's in magnificent nick at the moment too. You can play a casual 9 or 18 holes, practice on the redesigned driving range and short game green. Terrific facilities down there. Importantly, being a public course, there's no exorbitant membership costs. Right on Melbourne's doorstep, Yarra Bend welcomes all players. Now that's what golf's about. To book a tee time, search Yarra Bend Golf Course.
Not all heroes fall from alien planets. Our heroes are made at Kangan Institute. Call 13TAFE or visit kangan.edu.au.
Eligibility criteria applies. Some or all of this training is delivered with Victorian and Commonwealth Government funding. RTO 3077.
Want to win free coffee for an entire year? That's a lot of lattes. Just order a McCafe coffee on the My Macca's app for your chance to win. There are 25 winners every day. But hurry, limited time only. Ends 23/03/21. Visit mcdonalds.com.au/coffeecomp for full terms.
You're listening to AFL Nation for McDonald's. Smooth barista-made coffee from McCafe. Available 24/7.
Both teams at the bottom points of the square in their respective huddles, just getting their last-minute instructions as we get set to commence the second half at Marvel Stadium, with the Tigers leading by 21 points, 44-23. The Tigers, leading by 21 points over the Pies, 44-23. A couple of the texts, 0433 98 11 16. AFL Nation for McDonald's, a smooth barista-made coffee. Dave in Townsville here, wondering where is Steele Sidebottom? Haven't heard you call him. He went off early. And he's taking no further part in the game due to calf tightness. The other injury concern for the Collingwoods, unfortunately, is Will Kelly, who copped a knee into the collarbone from Dylan Grimes, and that will be assessed, but it didn't look good when he came off the ground. And just got home from a lovely Thai dinner, and you put the fear of God in me that Noah had done an ankle. Don't joke about injuries, please. Scotty Pendlebury put a little ankle breaker move on Noah Bolter.
As sweet as you'll see, too.
And he was strewn out over the deck of Marvel Stadium, and we're back underway. So Sire got it from Grundy to get us going. He's kicked to centre-half forward, though, gobbled up intercept style by Nick Vlosten in front of Ollie Henry. Their first draft pick in last year's draft. Far side of the ground, McIntosh gets on his bike and arcs around inside forward 50. Getting underneath it was Coleman Jones, which gave Moore an opportunity to get it to Roughhead. They feed it back further still to Quaynor, who lays it out onto the chest of Noble. Oh, he's going to go inboard. Little stab ball to Pendlebury, 40 metres from his defensive goal. He comes around onto the left, and we don't often see Scotty Pendlebury miss a target, and he's done exactly that to Caddy. Got it going very quickly. Shane Edwards has got an eternity at the top of 50. At all the time, he bounced it to Rewalt deep in the right forward pocket. Quick step in, ball was good. Collier Dawkins into the fray now. They feed it back to Caddy. Martin arcs around, hemmed in on the boundary on the right. Normally this won't be no thing for Martin. To the top of the square, it comes off hands. It goes out of play.
Ain't no thing usually.
We'll have it thrown in.
Pre-season game, I reckon he tried to put that one to the top of the square.
I think he did.
Regular season, he nails them from the pocket. What's he doing being unselfish in the Community Series? Poor from Dustin.
So ball thrown back into play. Pendlebury at the front of the pack has got enough time to gather and exit defensive 50. He wanted Mason Cox, but Noah Bolter fisted it over the line. Well, it's probably like the comedians that are getting ready for the comedy festival. They don't use their best material in their warm-up gigs. They save it for the big show.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not going to any warm-up gigs then. Paying money for B-grade material.
I'm sorry to any professional comedians listening going, mate, I'll make money out of those.
Yeah, there you go. You've just torched the whole industry.
DeGoey released on the far wing, enjoying his time on the ball and has been very effective doing it. Had 10 first-half possessions. Got it to Josh Dacos now. He takes a bounce because no one confronts him. He puts him inside, forward 50, and Noah Bolter got back strongly in front of Cox. Took the grab and plays on quickly. The switch was dangerous, though. Noble infringed on Caddy. A little bit too vigorous with his defensive aerial efforts.
It's just a poor kick from Dacos going inside 50. No one was on the mark, so he could take the extra 20 or 30 metres, and he had plenty of time, plenty of space to be able to hit up one of his leading forwards and just put it to an outnumbered situation. I mean, he's only a young player, so we'll give him a bit of leeway, but the kick just has to be better than that going inside 50. When you side's down and you've had some limited opportunities, only 5 marks inside 50 for the night for the Pies.
Essentially, the reason why Tom Phillips found another home, the progress of Josh Dacos was so good that they thought, we've got one here.
Oh, yeah,
and he looms as a special talent. Another 3-man weave situation for the Tigers. And look at the 90-degree kick, just squared from Lambert, who finds McIntosh 55 from home, getting some time and space in the left forward pocket. Arts had somehow stayed in. He left it behind. It hit the left goal, the left point post. And we'll have it thrown in. He lost Roughhead.
He was out for an eternity too in the goal square. The kick finally got to him. Roughhead just put enough pressure on, perceived pressure on for Anytime Arts to drop the mark.
Marbior Chol has been injected into the game. Little toe poker outside defensive 50. They go straight back in. Collier Dawkins got hands free, looped it over the top. Arts has got it some time to assess and snap. And his kick was marked on the behind line.
No one to kick to here.
Chris will just saunter away. Oh, low 6 metres ball. Quaynor, you're right, Coons went 6 metres, so he's got to retreat by hand to Howe. Martin harassing him, affected the kick. On the bounce, Maynard just fisted it forward with McIntosh right on his hammer. Tyler Brown couldn't take it. DeGoey, errant handball to Maynard, who's got time to gather. Double-handed drop. Ollie Henry, another awkward moment for him. He handballed it straight into the pressure of Loston, who was able to control the pill and sends it down the line onto the chest of Jack Rewalt. Backward of centre. Forward of centre, backward of left half forward. And he gets on the bike. He arcs around. Left forward pocket. 3 Tigers go up. It goes off the back of the pack. Clever little tap to Howe. To Maynard, who was inside the field of play. He releases Quaynor, who can just run a straight line out of defensive 50. And that's a bad kick under no pressure. 5 metres in front of Maynard, it bounced. And I reckon it went out on the full.
It did.
Bolter, long leg, bounce at the feet of Marbior Chol. The crumbs for Noble, the give to Crisp and the find of DeGoey.
Yeah, to go his midfield minutes, I think, have been a real positive. That's as a form of Noble in the back half. Been really poised. Quaynor's been good. Kicked that last one out on the full, but if you're looking for some positives, midfield minutes and those two kids playing well.
No goals yet, and we're 5 and change played in the third term on the Robot Building Supplies Robots Got It scoreboard. AAMI Community Series on AFL Nation for the McCafe Barista-Made Coffee. Smooth barista-made coffee from McCafe. It's available 24/7, Adam.
Excellent. 365?
Absolutely. Excellent. Ball thrown in near wing, right in front of the interchange. Beautifully read by Edwards off the hands. Just couldn't connect by hand to Caddy. Hands and knees, Grundy. Fed it Madgen. Quick give from Elliott. Chris wanted a support runner and there was none, so he's just got to jam it onto the boot. Cox was infringed upon, I thought, and so did he. He pleads his case with the umpire, and in the meantime, play goes on. Short. Levels it out for Asprey to run on.
Well, that's the only issue when you're pleading your case with the umpire. Yeah. Your opponent runs off and gets an uncontested mark. So, yeah, he got copped an elbow, stray elbow in the marking contest, but just got to get back into it straight away, Mason.
Coleman Jones flew with hands in the back of Cameron and the free kick given. Advantage paid. Sire drops it over the top of the oncoming traffic to Maynard, whose kick just had enough to get over the outstretched hand of Rioli. Crisp inboard kick. Howe arcs around from the give from Elliott, drives it inside, forward 50. Bolter beat a couple in the air. And he plays on quickly. He's got runners on the far side. It goes over the head of Vlauston, though. Tyler Brown gathers and is gathered in a strong Vlauston tackle. Dispossessed. Shea Bolton stepped left and came back right. Graham feeds it to left half back. McIntosh. Measured ball was beautifully weighted to Arts. Quickly inboard to the centre square, Edwards. It was at the feet of Short, but he gets a kind bounce and is able to gather. And he spreads it more near side. They've got runners everywhere. Richmond, Caddy. Martin on the lead in front of Quaynor. He's just too strong, Dusty. 50 metres out on the 45 angle is where the man on the mark stands.
Have a ping. He's got 55 in him.
Yes.
Hasn't he, Martin?
No. Oh, how does that happen? No one went with Daniel Rioli. And he just dropped into space between Moore, who was guarding space, and Maynard, or Crisp rather, who didn't have an opponent either. And Martin's kick found him.
Well, Moore had the dangerous space in front of Jack Revolt, so you could understand what he was doing. And Maynard was just half in. Is it Maynard or Crisp? Sorry, it's Crisp on the mark. Yeah, he was half in no man's land, so had to communicate with Darcy Moore there. Just popped into the space. Great timing from Rioli.
Slightly tighter than a 45 from 35, and it never looked like missing the moment it left the boot. We're right behind Daniel Rioli, 3-time premiership player now, and he's joined at the club by Morris Rioli Jr. this year. Technically his uncle, father-son rule. The great Morris Rioli. And it's very exciting. We talk about legacy before with the famous names continuing on at Collingwood. Well, they don't come much more famous than the Rioli name, and the heritage with Richmond runs deep.
Just having a look at the replay of Rioli. He was by himself inside 50 for about nine seconds, I reckon. So the whole time that Dusty had his hands on the footy, Rioli was just sort of circling inside 50.
Oh, that's a long time.
He had Crisp. Chris was trying to cover off players higher up the ground, and Moore was trying to cover dangerous space, and no one looked around to cover off Daniel Rioli, and he just popped in and popped out and then found himself in another pocket of space and a great kick from Martin, so it might have been 7 seconds.
First of the second half goes to the Tigers. 27-point lead here. Grass cutter from Martin. Graham, beautiful half-volley pickup, but driven into the deck by Maynard, and he wins the free kick. Good tackle. A lot of people consider this man very unlucky not to be All-Australian last year. Penetrating kick inside. Mason Cox didn't take the mark but kept his feet. Butted up with a strong tackle on Graham, which gave a chance to De Goey. He missed his target by hand. Short quickly onto the boot, and that's a good mark. Callum Coleman Jones. And he hits up Marby Chol on the near wing. Dusty cruising past on the right-hand side, and look at the weight of that kick.
It was a perfect kick from Martin, and just the run from Jack Graham. Just put his head down and sprinted to make space. He was the only man who could get that footy.
Oh, he played on. I thought Maynard got it very close within the 5 metres. No target found inside, and Collingwood have got numbers to run it out. Crisp, rough head, got to be quick. Maynard, McIntosh confronts him. Callum Brown takes it and is able to skip around Lambert. He feeds it back inside defensive 50. Nicely weighted ball, Maynard to Crisp, and he in turn Hits up Elliott down the near wing. Inboard now. Pendlebury just outside the centre square. How's that over the outstretched fingertip of Edwards to De Goey? Has all the time in the world and bullets it to Cox, who didn't take the mark. Brilliant, desperate stuff from Bolter to get under his feet, to tangle up the big man.
It's going to be deliberate.
And he's been pinged for deliberate. Out of bounds has Bolter. Did everything else right. And it'd be Dacos. 25. Now, this is 25 metres around from the left point post. Asprey's on the mark. Call it now, Adam Cooney. You kicking it?
This is Dacos like this is.
Absolutely it is, and it gets a Dacos-like finish. Couple of steps and the snap. There was no other result with the name of Dacos. That's exciting for Collingwood fans.
Well, it was great. Just as soon as he got ball in hand, you knew it was going through. But just that you could hear the collective groans around the ground from that last contest with Mason Cox. He's just got to mark them. He's at the stage in his career now where there wasn't a lot of heat coming. There wasn't a lot of physical contact. He got one in the eye a little bit earlier, but that was an easy mark for a uncontested situation from a key forward that you'll see. And he had one about a minute earlier where he was coming out to the footy and got himself a bit tangled up. Should have taken another uncontested mark. So he's missed two. So the Collingwood fans are starting to get a bit antsy and a bit uncomfortable with the situation with Mason Cox at the moment as their key forward. I'm not sure if is he the right man to be the key forward. Well, give him a quarter and a half, see if he can clunk a couple.
21-point lead to the Tigers now for Robot Building Supplies. Robot's got it. Collingwood did get to centre arm forward again, but Tigers in numbers. Rappel. Edward spreads to the near wing, McIntosh. Contested marks-wise, Mason Cox was fourth in the competition for average contested marks per game. He averaged 2.09 in the 11 games he played. Lobb, Tabernet, Dixon ahead of him. So think of the names that he was ahead of for average contested marks per game. I'm not pleading the case for him. I'm just saying that's, if you were, an argument that you could use. When they use him right, he can take a grab. Richmond inside again. Grundy stood in a hole. Chol punched it away from him. Pendlebury gave it to Moore, but he was hot as you like, and it's knocked out of his hands. Umpire intervenes and plucks out a free kick. And it'll go to Pendlebury against Chol.
Yeah, so
incorrect disposal.
He hasn't marked the footy tonight.
No.
Once. Uncontested or contested, so
he's going to play Crummer in this situation. It almost came off Elliott's hands to him. Grimes showing his versatility, playing on the much smaller man. He recovered well at ground level with Elliott off and racing and wraps him up.
When he leaps at the footy, Mason Cox, and takes the ball at its highest point, that's when he's at his most dangerous. But the last two he's had have been regulation uncontested marks, basically. So he needs to build that.
Grundy to Goey again, combining brilliantly from a stoppage, but the kick just didn't get any arc on it. Hit the belly to the left-hand side or behind. De Goey's got two in this game, and he's threatened a couple more times.
He's been good around the stoppages, De Goey. Really dangerous. Good through the middle of the ground. I've liked his work forward of centre, particularly at stoppages as well. So he has been a positive. Looks pretty fit too.
Shorts kick. He ran in the 15 metres. He got about 50 of it. The mark was intercepted and taken by Ruffhead. There it is. Exactly as Adam Cooney said. Give him a run at it. Let him jump at it. And Mason Cox does the rest. And he takes the mark 15 metres out, pretty much directly in front.
That is exactly what I want to see from Mason Cox on a regular basis. And the kick was superb too from Ruffhead. He actually got a good run at it, got a good leap, could take the footy at its highest point. Need to see that more.
Now just has to convert. Crowd will tell you that he did. So Cox gets his first, and Collingwood winning the quarter, 2-1 in the third. Has them now trailing by only 14 points on the Robot Building Supplies scoreboard. AFL Nation for the smooth barista-made coffee from the McCafe. It's available 24/7.
See, no one's going. I'm having a look at the replay. When he runs and jumps and leaps at the footy, no one is going to stop him. No one. It's just the ball's got to be in the perfect spot, and he's got to get a good run and a good leap at it. There was 3 Richmond defenders trying desperately to get anywhere near him, and they just couldn't get within an arm's length. So He needs to get to first of all, he needs to get to those positions more often to be able to run and then time his leap and then jump at it. And then the kick from Roughhead there was spot on. So if he can build that, take a couple of those big ones a game, but then get the easy ones, get the cheap ones. He could have had 2 easy goals tonight, 2 easy marks and 2 easy goals. So you get those ones and you clunk a couple, then you're worth your weight in gold.
Collier Dawkins got it from Martin, kept it very low and looking for Arts, who's got to try and take it on the bounce. Howe harassing him, did really well. Arts paddles it inboard. Collier Dawkins couldn't take it with him. Graham could, but he was grabbed by Sire. Handball in hope. Arts bobs up with it. Again, Howe just dumps him into the deck. Collier Dawkins again fighting hard. Got it a long time. Freed the hands, but just took too long to do it. Sire rewarded for the tackle. Left half back. The Pies win it back. A lot of people predicting big things for Riley Collier Dawkins. Have you seen enough of him just yet, Adam Cooney, to have made up your mind?
No, I don't. I don't know a lot about him, to be honest with you. I haven't seen him play a hell of a lot, but if what they're saying is true, then I'll believe them, Sam. Good to us, the Richmond faithful. They're the ones who go out and watch the twos religiously before.
Geez, Dylan Grimes again had that a long time in front of Jamie Elliott, just outbodied him, scrapping for it in the left forward pocket for the Pies. Richmond have just forced it out of their defensive 50, but Collingwood win it back. Tyler Brown, standing start, kick, good enough elevation. I thought to go, he took the mark. Umpire called play. No, he's paid the mark now.
It's got to be fitty then, doesn't it?
Well, there wasn't a whistle, so they all played on because they didn't hear anything. And then the whistle came. So De Goey's going to be paid the mark. Beautiful find in a pretty congested forward 50 from Tyler Brown. And the mark, 30, I'll give it 40 metres out, almost directly in front.
Yeah, threaded the eye of the needle, Tyler Brown. Which has to be 50. Tackled to the ground after he marked the ball. It's one
so
or the other,
De Goey on the set shot really didn't get much of it at all, and it doesn't make the distance. Marked on the line by Bolter. Quickly to Pickett in the left back pocket. Short left it behind because it was handballed behind him. Pickett again has to go in and help. A little bit of composure for Baker, who got around onto the left boot and put it out of bounds on the full. So Pies will get a reload. Trailing by 14 points. Robot Building Supplies scoreboard. Ticking up to almost 18 minutes played. Robot Building Supplies. The entry inside forward 50. Mason Cox has worked underneath it a little bit too easy. Fall the ball was Graham, and he just heaves it out of there with a big mung half punt torpedo. Jack latched onto it. He gathered and kicked in a hurry. High ball bounces up even almost as high off the deck. Noble wins it. Got it to Howe. Outside runner was Madgen, who got it from Maynard, and his kick trying to find Hoskin Elliott. Only found Baker. So another turnover coming outside of their defensive 50. Baker doesn't waste any time, getting it right to the hot spot, 15 metres out. Coleman Jones had it well fisted away from him. Brilliant one-handed pick up from De Goey, who arched the back and got around Caddy. And what about the caressed left foot snap around the corner, found the chest of Darcy Cameron. Trey Rusco had it bounce in front of him, and Collier Dawkins shut it down and made sure it went out of play, and we'll have it thrown in just forward of centre for the Pies on the near wing.
Yeah, loved his game tonight. Jordan De Goey, he's been a hard worker through the middle of the ground. Got forward as well, kicked a couple of snags, but up
to 18 disposals for the game.
And on the left too, around the body, mind you, to spot up a target.
So I wanted a free kick, thought he was dumped after he got rid of it. Chris tried to be a little bit too cute. Little one-handed palm down, wanted Dacos, and the boundary line beats them all. So we'll have it thrown in right in front of the Tigers bench, where McIntosh and Dustin Martin get set to come back on. Marby or Chol into the ruck, got rid of Grundy. Collingwood had numbers at the back of the pack inside. This time Dacos is released. Graham pushed him as he kicked it, which affected the kick. I thought that Broad took the mark or the free kick. Take your pick. In the right back pocket. Have to have a look at the replay. Short stabbing ball that I don't know if it was required to short. Still inside defensive 50. High up and under down the line. Rough head was infringed upon. by Coleman Jones, and he's not getting up too quickly, Jordan Roughead.
Well, he got sort of half slung in the marking contest, and Braden Maynard came through, flying knee, UFC style.
Oh, yes.
Straight
and
into
a second one.
Straight into the back of Jordan Roughead, and then just an elbow on the way through. So,
Chol. Cox had been worked underneath it, and Marby Chol read it beautifully in the air. Came across the front of the pack. Quick switch to the left back pocket now. Wasn't particularly clean, but it'll pay off. Baker able to skip away and hits up Rewalt on the far wing. He's got runners everywhere in the middle. Collier Dawkins took on Dacos. The feed to Bolton. Got to be quick because I've mucked up that guy's name again. Go inside, forward 50. Noble on hands and knees. Crisp had it a long time and well tackled by Caddy, and he's going to be rewarded. My brain just not working as quickly as my mouth wants it to. Trey Rusco it was.
Well, there's a few that... There's Trey Rusco's got the pink wheels on.
Yep.
But there's a couple that sort of look pretty similar. And Imagine and
I keep going
Sire.
to say Trey Wingard from ESPN.
Trey Wingard.
And I know that's not his name. That's pre-season. We're just working out the kinks.
Yes.
So Caddy, good forward 50 tackle. Spent some time down back. He spent some time in the middle in this game. On the runway now and just squeezes it in. It was hugging that right-hand side goalpost. But he gets the set shot goal, and Richmond get their 8-8-56 now. The margin back to 20 points, 5-6-36 for Robot Building Supplies.
Yeah, just had that hand pinned. Crisp has been resolute back there, but just got himself in a spot of bother. And Caddy, who's worked reasonably hard this evening without dominating. He's had a few opportunities forward of centre, 21 disposals and really nice tackle. Once you get that arm pinned as a player, you know that you're in some real strife. And Collingwood had a fair run of play that quarter without dominating or coming back to a huge extent, and just one entry inside 50, and the good teams make you pay.
So 5-6-36 Collingwood, 8-8-56 Richmond. Robot Building Supplies scoreboard. Chol got up really high and won that battle with Grundy. Now he goes to work trying to tackle Tyler Brown, who evaded him and beautifully got around Edwards as well. Sold Dacos into a heap of trouble, and his handball wanting to go. He only found short. Short misfires by hand to Rioli. Imagine there to clean it up for the Pies. Hoskin Elliott just gets around a charging Marlon Pickett. Low delivery at the bootlaces of Josh Thomas. I thought carried. Umpire said it didn't. Pickett intervenes. Collier Dawkins has been tackled. Just got the hands free. Handball went straight to John Nobilo. Outside forward 50. Sire. Maynard. And now Tyler. That's Callum Brown can straighten and fire. And he put it to the right-hand side. So just a little scrappy on the field and in the box. 5-7-37 Collingwood now, 8-8-56 Richmond. Robot Building Supplies scoreboard. AFL Nation for the McDonald's, the McCafe barista made coffee.
One step too many, Brown, and put himself in under pressure with Chol coming at him. So just need to release the footy a second early and would have had more time to slot that one through.
Grundy took the intercept mark on the near wing. The corridor is vacant, so Quaynor can take the mark and take off. Another forward 50 entry for the Pies. Cameron was the target. Asprey fisted it well away from him. Combining was Brown and Dacos, and back to Tyler Brown. They could raffle it, though, the Tigers. The kick came off the outside of the boot. And they hit up Rioli at left half back. So Daniel Rioli, standing start kick. Was going to Pickett. He didn't know.
Didn't want it.
Quaynor got it to Josh Thomas, feeds it back to Madgen. That was a wobbly stab pass that went over the head of John Noble into the lap of Daniel Rioli. And it'll just slow down a minute while everybody composes themselves. So far side, left half back. Rioli's going to concede to Vlosten.
That's 7 of the last 10 inside 50s. Collingwood.
That's a risky kick into the corridor. Cameron bearing down, but Chol took the mark. So they fan it to the near side. Short's in a heap of space. Can take two bounces down the near wing. Can go inboard to Bolter if he wants. Puts a step on Callum Brown. Bolter keeps it low to Caddy, drops it over the top to Martin, who's got to try and beat 2. His handball went back to Caddy, but too far to his right-hand side, and it's out of bounds, and we'll have it thrown in at right half forward for the Tigers.
Dusty's night. He had a big first quarter, got into double figures, and just has been in second, third gear since then. He's up to 21, but spent a lot of time half forwards, pretty much the whole quarter as a half forward here. So just starting to wind down before round 1.
Vice-like tackle from De Goey on Collier Dawkins, bottles it up, and we'll have it thrown up. 60 from home on the 45 angle. Clever from De Goey. Didn't take the ball, just tapped it down to Crisp, and he can just torp it down the near wing. Cameron got rid of Asprey. Coming through hard was Sire. Cameron kept it in, but gave it straight to Bolton, and he's wrapped up by Cameron and Sire. And we'll have it thrown up just inside the boundary, just forward of centre for the Pies on the near wing. 37 plays 56. Tigers lead. Grundy beautifully over his left shoulder to Pendlebury. Just got a kick away in time. Elliott. Dacos ran on and got it from De Goey, and I reckon Martin got Dacos around the neck, and he'll get the free kick still inside the centre square. Clip. At centre half forward. Umpire tells Maynard to get out of the way. Dacos has to take his kick now. Call play on, and Dusty forced him a little wider on the right boot. The lead came from Ollie Henry. Front and square was Josh Thomas. Here's Trey Rusco. Brilliantly tackled, though, by Pickett. Took him on and lost. I got his name right and he got that wrong.
You'll be in sync soon, the two of you, don't worry.
There's a good grab, getting back with the flight from Mason Cox. Clever to get it moving quickly off the deck as he was falling down to Madgen. Madgen spreads it very, very wide, though, to Hoskin Elliott, when maybe the more central kick was on offer. So,
what are you, Mace?
Mason Cox has actually run down. He got a shove, and he's going to get a free kick here. Marbior Chol, full extension of the hands into the back of Mason Cox.
It was soft, but it was there. Just great work rate from Mason Cox. He was the man who took the mark centre wing, and then I watched him. And he put his head down, pushed really hard forward to get back, because Chol was his direct opponent, just sitting inside 50 as a spare, and just worked really hard.
So the windmill arms are very vigorous from Marbior Chol to try and put off Mason Cox, and it doesn't make any difference, and he cops a gobful from Mason Cox as Marbior Chol, as Cox puts it through. And Dusty has a crack at Cox, so too Rewald. Little bit of feeling, Cox not backing down. Now Chol and Mason Cox really staring each other down.
You get lippy after that one. I missed the...
No, he did. He gave...
Kicked that off.
He gave Marbior Chol a little something after he kicked the goal.
Pretty soft free, but as Mason Cox was jumping, the hands went into the back, so it sort of extenuated little circumstance that he found himself in, and I'm not sure if he needs to be doing that at this stage. Mason giving a little lip post-goal to Marbior Chol, maybe.
Well, that's his second, Mason Cox.
The premiers from last year. Keep it on the down low.
And she's a pracky match.
Yeah, they're not into the real stuff yet, either.
Yes. Martin just threw a shoe at it. Clear the corridor. And right half forward, leading up at it was Arts, who received the caddy kick. Called to play on now. Kept it low to a leading Rewald, who took it one grab. Roughhead was right on his jacksie. Rewald took it 45 metres out on a 45 angle.
Yeah, it was a great kick. Great lead. That's the siren.
Yes, it is. Thank you, Adam. 3/4 time siren. So the lead at the moment is 13 points. Collingwood have won this quarter. Rewalt, though, to go to kick his second. Got one in the first quarter.
We'll go to Mason Cox after this. He's on the mark at the moment. Jack might give it to him.
Jack, just a couple of steps. It's going to go to the right-hand side, and it's one behind. And I reckon Mason had a little chat to Jack Rewald as well.
I think he might have said something on the way through. And he's gone up to Dustin Martin.
Now he's having a little chat with Dusty. Maynard separates them.
Gone straight to the top of the tree if you want to get lippy.
Even Callum Coleman-Jones gave him a little bump. So there we go, three-quarter time. Don't mind a little bit of feeling in a pre-season game. 8-9-57. 14-point Richmond lead over Collingwood, 6-7-43. It was a 29-minute quarter on the Robot Building Supplies. Robots got it scoreboard, so a quarter to come in the second game of the AAMI Community Series on AFL Nation. For McDonald's Smooth Barista-made coffee from the McCafe, it's available 24/7.
That quarter was for Robot Building Supplies. They've got it and deliver. robotbuildingsupplies.com.au.
That quarter on AFL Nation was for Repco Authorised Service. For expert car service you can rely on, visit repcoservice.com.au.
New car sales are hot, and for a quality SUV or ute at a value price, check out Haval GWM at Astoria, Bentley East. The new GWM Cannon ute has four-wheel drive, dual cab, auto, diesel, and only $33,990 drive away. Haval SUV auto models are from only $22,990 drive away and all have 7 years warranty. Plus, we need your trade-in and we'll pay good money for it. Astoria Haval GWM, North Road, Bentley East, LMCT 10901.
Hello, Frank Walker from National Tiles. National Tiles have slashed the price on DIY Kimberley hybrid flooring to an unbelievable $29.95 every day of the year. That's right, DIY lay and click Kimberley hybrid flooring slashed to $29.95 every day of the year. Go online now at nationaltiles.com.au and save on Kimberley hybrid DIY lay and click flooring. It's child's play. National Tiles. Now you can.
It's Tyre Power's massive Easter sale with more great deals on big brand tyres. At Tyre Power, you'll get the power of our giant giveaway on Toyo tyres. Simply buy 3 and we'll give you 1 free on a great range of Toyo passenger car and SUV tyres. That's right, buy 3 and get 1 free on selected Toyo tyres at Tyre Power. Conditions apply. See website or in-store for details. Tyre Power's massive Easter sale is now on. Visit tyrepower.com.au or call 13 21 91 for your local owner-operator.
I think he's stride by stride. She's a mighty filly.
This is Rob Slade from Slade Bloodstock. Join the all-conquering Mar Eustace stable in an outstanding Zoustar colt. The stable are taking racing by storm. The colt is Magic Millions and Bobs, an ideal colt for the $2 million Magic Millions 2-year-old classic. 5%, $8,950. Finance available. Buy or share yourself or form a syndicate of friends. It's that easy. Contact me now on 0417 036 865 or go to sladebloodstock.com.au.
AFS 226 373.
There's a new name in DIY, and this weekend, the coffees are on us.
Instead of another ad that'll help another business, here's one that will help yours. We know business is tough right now, which is why this radio station and every other station in the country wants to help you get word out that you're open for business. And with 95% of all Australians tuning in each week, radio's alive with new customers at a time you need them most. For reach that gets results, visit radioalive.com.au.
Want to win free coffee for an entire year? That's a lot of lattes. Just order a McCafe coffee on the My Macca's app for your chance to win. There are 25 winners every day. But hurry, limited time only. Ends 23/03/21. Visit mcdonalds.com.au/coffeecomp for full terms.
BF Brokers would like to have a chat with you. Selling your business with BF Brokers is a simple and easy process. That's why it all starts with an informal conversation, a chat. You might be curious about what your business is worth now, how to build its value for the future, or what common mistakes to avoid. There's no pressure to pay anything, sign anything, or even sell anything. So many amazing things can start with a simple chat about your business. Have one today.
Call their new number on 1-800-BF Brokers.
We went searching all over the world for better internet, even the ocean floor. Turns out Better Business Internet was right here. Summit Internet. From just $99, they're 5 times faster than the NBN with Australian phone support. Summit Internet. Better business internet.
If you suffer with aching, painful and swollen joints, an osteoarthritis assessment with one of our doctors at Australian Osteoarthritis Clinic could be the answer you're looking for. Australian Osteoarthritis Clinic offers many different treatment options for your aches and pains. Inquire about an assessment today. Australian Osteoarthritis Clinic, keeping you active every day. For more information, visit australianosteoarthritisclinic.com.au. McDonald'sMeat.com or call 9270 8080.
You're listening to AFL Nation for McDonald's. Smooth barista-made coffee from McCafe. Available 24/7.
Great timing from Rioli. Slightly tighter than a 45 from 35, and it never looked like missing the moment it left the boot. We're right behind Daniel Rioli, three-time premiership player now. Let him jump at it, and Mason Cox does the rest. And he takes the mark 15 metres out, pretty much directly in front. Now just has to convert. Crowd will tell you that he did. So Cox gets his first. 8-9-57, the Tigers at the last turn, 6-7-43. We quarter to play, and the Tigers have got a 14-point lead in what's been a pretty low-scoring encounter at the moment on the Robot Building Supplies. Robot's got it scoreboard, and Adam, Gary's come in off the text, 0433 98 11 16. He's not a massive fan of mine, but he does try to keep me honest and just gives feedback whenever he sees fit, and I enjoy that.
Always good to get feedback.
Yeah, absolutely. 360 degrees. We take it however we can get it. Sam, what is the near wing FFS? I think that means footy fan Sam.
Footy fan Sam?
Yeah, footy fan of Sam. You just don't do the O. Gary, the near wing, if you're looking at it like the broadcast point of view, if you're watching on TV and you're on the wing position, the broadcast position, the near wing is the nearest wing to you, and the far wing is the furthest wing to you. That's how I'm trying to just paint the picture there of where the ball might be. Yeah, just doing the geography thing, trying to paint the picture, describing the live drama for those who can't see it. But that's what that means. But always a pleasure to hear from you, Gary, and I hope you're having a great night. So you can text us at any time, 0433 98 11 16. Sam Hargraves, Adam Cooney with you, and a quarter to go. Collingwood had a win that quarter. It was a 3-2 term. Mason Cox got a couple.
Yep. The kids have got involved. Chol, I thought, had a pretty good third term after sitting out the first half. Dusty spent a lot of time at half forward, so I feel like they've taken the foot off the gas slightly, Richmond. So Collingwood had their opportunities. Mason Cox had a big grab, and hopefully they can push on here and get some confidence leading into a fortnight's time.
So Richmond will get the first clearance of the final term. They come to that near wing for Gary, and at left half forward, arches the back and got around the attempted tackle from Crisp, and beautifully onto the chest of a leading Lambert, 48 metres out directly in front. Cricket point of view too, by the way, New Zealand capitulated. Short on the drive by, no, just to the left-hand side. And one wood comes out from outside 50. And he just put it to the left-hand side of the fairway. 6 for 156 after 20 overs, Australia. You would have thought that New Zealand would have easily...
Regulation total.
Yeah, absolutely. They would have done that with time to spare, but they were bowled out for 106. So Australia have levelled that 5-game series at 2-all as Crisp comes away. It's a nice kick to a leading Cox, who draws the boos of the Richmond faithful. He can take it and take off, and there's an option inside, forward 50. Oh, it just spilt beautifully for Trey Rusco.
Your man, Trey.
The two defenders hit the deck in Vlosten and Broad. He kept his feet, ran into an open goal.
T-Russ.
Trey Rusco, 9-point ball game now, 58-49. Robot Building Supplies. Robot's got its scoreboard.
Coast to coast, that was. Good contest. Hoskin Elliott. Ball just came out the back. Mason Cox, the big fella, just ducked out the back of Bolter, who was caught ball watching for about 1 second, and then Cox ducked out the back of him uncontested. The kick forward was to an outnumbered situation, 2-on-1. Richmond defenders should have eaten that up. Broad should have came in over the top and either taken the mark or spoiled it. In the end, he just ran into his teammate Nick Vlosten. Both of them sort of lost where they were, and your boy Trey Rusco kept his feet, landed like a cat, and kicks his first snaggle for the evening.
So he was outnumbered 2-1, and it's that whole thing, we were taught it in juniors, if you keep your feet, you can always stay in the contest, and he was the only one that did it. Collier Dawkins did exactly that, got underneath the Brodie Grundy tackle. Shea Bolton couldn't do the same. He's taken to the ground strongly. They're mucking around with it a little bit. They work at the centre half forward. Loose ball gathered by Baker, who's in turn gathered by DeGoey and dumped into the deck. Ball in hand, and we'll have it thrown up still inside the centre square. But almost at centre half forward for the Pies.
Saw DeGoey. I think he might have copped a corky in that last tackle. The footy comes straight to him.
Here's the combination. Grundy, Pendlebury, DeGoey, who's coming off. Chris Cox! Cox, one-handed juggler. Could have given it to Dacos running into an open goal, but he was just a little off balance, and he'll go back and shoot for his third.
Oh, hello.
20 metres out directly in front, and DeGoey is limping noticeably as he comes off the ground. They'd already lost side bottom to some calf soreness. Will Kelly with a collarbone that will be assessed tomorrow. Could just be cramp. Hopefully for Collingwood fans, it's just cramp. Well, Mason Cox has got 3 goals. Equal leading goal scorer. Castagna has 3 for the Tigers, and Mason Cox, he's got the trifecta now for Collingwood. He came to life in that third term.
All he needs in a game is one moment and then he feels at home. It was the big contested mark which we were screaming out for, and once he clunked that, confidence levels go from about 5 out of 100 to 75 to 80 very, very quickly with Mason Cox, and then he gets a bit lippy with the opposition, doesn't mind giving it out, doesn't mind taking it, and then gets him into the game. I think he should do that more often, Mason Cox. If he's having a period where he feels out of it, we throw his height around.
Pies have kicked 5 out of the last 7 goals, Adam Cooney, and they've cut that margin right back to 3 points, 58 to 55 for Robot Building Supplies. Robot's got it. Chol got up very high over Grundy, and just taking it on the bounce was Bolton, who couldn't find a target inside forward 50, and instead he finds Madgen. Wanted to come to his right. Instead, they go to the far side wing. Tyler Brown got a little sit on McIntosh, recovered at ground level. Handball too hot for brother Callum. Trying to charge a path through was Broad. Short slung Callum Brown in the tackle. Sire left it behind but slapped it forward. Egmaless Smith now into the game. Looping handball to Chol. He in turn gives it to the runner in short, who went very short to Lambert. Just the required. Forward to centre on the far wing. Lambert will slow it down.
We're nearly out then. Just one fumble would be so costly, and Collingwood should have had an inside 50. It goes back the other way pretty quickly.
Moore got a fist on it. Edwards couldn't take it with him, was well tackled. Callum Jones was able to shovel it off the deck. Throwing a shoe at it was Graham. Or Shea Bolton had it for not very long when Pendlebury put him down. And Collingwood reclaim. Tyler Brown to the far side. He wanted Rusco, but put it straight into the path of a charging Vlosten. He skids it into the hands of Short, who stepped back around the tackler. Graham, that was awkward, but he did get boot the ball. It went very high and not very long. Fisted away from Sire by Lambert. Taking it and running the opposite way to goal was Vlosten. Egmalesi Smith to Short, who screws it back around on a 45 angle from a standing start, and a free kick's been paid, and it'll go to Chol. Looks to be against Jordan Roughhead, and Chol will go back in. No, it's going to Rewalt.
Cale's watching Chol come in from the front of the pack there. Let's have another look in the little replay screen here. I'll try and talk you through it.
Yeah, Roughhead.
Just a one arm, half around the waist back of Jack Rewalt. If that's a free kick, then they should pay them, how many, 85 times a game? Because there wasn't much holding there at all. It's just half an arm around.
25 metres out directly in front. Rewalt stabs at it.
Ball don't lie.
And it goes to the right-hand side. That's a big let-off. It would have made it a 9-point game. Instead, it's a 4-point Richmond lead.
Quite been at his peak this evening, Jack.
1 goal in the first quarter.
Kicked the ball that well.
Maynard, nice out in front of a leading Braden Sire on the far side wing, just backward of it. He gets moving quickly. Grundy in a one-on-one with Chol. Had to spoil Chol in the end, did Grundy, who gets it back from Callum Brown, who tried to get it to Thomas by hand. Knocked away from him by Bolter. Egmalesi Smith, another clean give inside to Graham. Not so clean from Martin with a Y. That's Will Martin. But they've got numbers to recover. McIntosh got it from Short. Far side of the ground. Inboard now. Chol presents an option. It was cut off by Pendlebury, though. Beautiful spinning move from Collier Dawkins. Pendlebury is lying down on the turf, left in his wake. Crisp, nice gather. Madgen Looping handball to Noble, who retreats a long way to the defensive goal square, and Roughhead will slow it down.
Sweet little pirouette, wasn't it, by Collier Dawkins.
He's front and centre here. Had it fisted away from Grundy.
Pumped him up before.
There's Will Martin. Little give to Baker. Feeds it back to Chol. Easily able to get around a slipping Josh Thomas. And he hits up Daniel Rioli 49 metres out on a 45 angle.
Pretty good Chol since coming onto the ground. Worked his way into the contest very, very nicely.
Good to see Will Martin. He's a Lions Academy player. Another from the Aspley Footy Factory up there in Brisbane. Had to play hub footy last year. Harris Andrews, Marbior Chol, Eric Hipwood, Alir. That kick going all the way to the line, but just falling short from Rioli. So still a hot footy. Caddy swoops on it. Left forward pocket. Almost goes out of play and just jams it onto the right boot. Fisted away Callum Jones. Front and square Castagna. Sprays it across the face from almost point blank range, and it goes out of bounds on the full. So a good little list of names coming out of Aspley in recent times. Robert Copeland was a premiership player for the Lions, but Harris Andrews and the Wagners, Alir, Eric Hipwood, and now Will Martin.
Footy Factory down at Aspley.
Madgen gets on the end of it on the far side. His handball a little bit too hot for Grundy, who's confronted by three Tigers. Short, wraps up Madgen, takes him over the line. And we'll have it thrown in. In Collingwood's half of the ground, just on the far side wing. So 8-11-59 the Tigers, 4-point lead, 8-7-55 Collingwood. Robot Building Supplies, Robot's got it scoreboard.
Enjoying this little battle between Grundy and Chol.
How are you calling it points-wise?
It keeps this up for the rest of the game, Chol. It's going to be pretty hard to leave him out. Round one. Nank-Chol combination.
0433 98 11 16. Tigers fans, Pies fans, give us your ticks. Collingwood turning it over again in the middle of the ground, and Richmond have got all the numbers, but Graham just couldn't execute the handball, so he had to slap it into the path of Castagna, who weaved through a couple of would-be tacklers. Coleman Jones tried to slap it to Edwards. He's fighting tooth and nail on the deck. A lot of players around this pill. Coleman Jones came up with it, gave it to another hyphenated player's name. Coleman Jones, Collier Dawkins. The hyphens combine across the face of goal. It goes, and Rewalt's taken the mark on the line.
No one gets more excited about a hyphen than you, Sam.
14 hyphenated names in the competition, 3 of them at the Tigers.
Yeah. It only leaves 11 for the rest of the comp, doesn't it?
It's one of my favourite stats.
He loves a hyphen, this guy.
Rewald improves the angle, and this is where he likes him. Doesn't like the straight in front, but he'll get the curler from right on the boundary line. Rewald's got a couple. And the Tigers have got a 10-point lead with 11 played in the final term for Robot Building Supplies. AAMI Community Series on AFL Nation for McDonald's, the McCafe barista-made coffee.
Good hyphenation combination there from those boys. And Jack, who could have had a really good night if he kicked straight. Slots a couple. And,
what's he kicked now? 2-2, 2-3?
He's kicked a couple. He's kicked 2. I think he's kicked... He had one drop short earlier, but he's got 2-2 for the evening. From 11 disposals. 5 marks.
So the multiple goal scorers, Rioli, Cox has got 3, Castagna's got 3, De Goey has 2, and they are the multiples. Singles to Elliott, Rusco, Dacos for the Pies, and then Edwards, McIntosh and Caddy. Actually, Rioli's got 2 as well, doesn't he?
Just the one snag.
Just the one.
Dustin Martin and Dylan Grimes done for the evening. Jackets on the bench, so pretty good night for both of those guys.
So we're back underway in the middle. Caddy stood underneath the high ball and had too much muscle for Noble, so he wins that 50-50. Steered it short and low into the hands of Noah Bolter. We know he's got a long leg. He wants to take on Elliott on the mark. That's a helicopter ball. Taken at full pace on the bounce by Quaynor, who slick little give to De Goey. Mason Cox had it fisted away by Asprey, and Baker was there in support. So he loops it by hand to Pickett. On the left-hand side of him, he's got Rewalt hemmed in on the boundary, centering kick. Lambert, good spoil from Quaynor. Cox has collared Rewalt.
There we go.
High tackle that's going to go against Mason Cox.
He wanted blood then, Mason. Roundhouse. Violent man.
Vicious stuff from Mason Cox.
I woke up this morning and chose violence. Did Mason.
So Rewalt will put the left shoulder to goal. I don't know if he'll go the set shot here. Mason Cox is on the mark about 40 metres out. Jack's about 5 metres in from the boundary in the left forward pocket.
Any lip if he kicks it? He can go straight to him?
There'll be plenty. There'll be plenty.
They've been a little bit orgy-borgy back and forth between these two this evening.
He's getting some advice from the Collingwood fans. So Rewalt runs around, arcs it. It's going to go all the way to the line and just across the face.
Big Coxie's run off. Didn't want anything to do. Didn't want the smoke.
Noah Bolter tangles up with Mason Cox, but just to behind for Jack now. So he's kicked 2-3 and the one that didn't make the distance. As Maynard exploits the new man on the mark, being 15 metres away from the top of the square. That's a good kick over the back. Hoskin Elliott just worked, pick it underneath it. Strong lead and take from Cox on the near wing. He says, come at me, come at me. Don't know if that's his own teammates or the Tigers players.
Yeah, anyone. He'll take them all.
To De Goey, who got a little ear tickler from Will Martin. Inboard kick just inside the centre square at centre half forward is Pendlebury. He's keeping a low stabbing ball. It's a slips catch from Maynard. Umpire said it didn't go the required. Two Tigers wrap up. Braden Maynard, 52 metres out.
Nothing kicked really from Pendlebury. One step. Maynard was half a metre behind the guy on the mark. So it was pretty pointless.
Did you think that this might have been the year that Pendlebury stepped down as captain and maybe Taylor Adams, as Dacos took it out of the ruck contest by one hand and slapped it onto the right slipper, fisted away from Mason Cox, 48 metres out from Collingwood's goal. Egglesy Smith has done some really nice work by hand in close. Again, the releasing handball, and they evacuate defensive 50 via the far side wing. Castagna, little turn and go. Look at him put the afterburners on Braden Maynard. He can handball to Maynard. He felt bad for him. Made him look second rate and then said, oh, here you go, mate, have another go. And Collingwood are going to win this back. Crisp. That kick was exactly that. Into the middle. And now Callum Brown is released. Oh, he's sold siren to more problems than a police informant. Rioli tackled by his opposite number in Callum Brown. Graham got a handball away. Egglesy Smith again just made the right decision by hand. Got it back from Will Martin. Now the kick on the left foot was good. Kept it low and hit the chest of Jack Rewalt. He's got a leading player at the back. Castagna's run on a long, long way. Since giving it back to Braden Maynard after putting a vicious step on him, he's gone 200 metres to the top of the square to get on the end of that. And he'll go back and shoot for his fourth.
They've had some handballs and kicks through the middle of the ground, Collingwood, that have put their teammates under immense pressure as Castagna screws this one around the body for his third of the evening, is it? Or is he?
That's four now.
Four was a good evening. Good solid hit out.
And he comes off.
A small forward.
Put him on the towel.
Yeah, ice him up. But there's been a couple of hospital handballs and hospital kicks from Collingwood players. Poor Will Kelly's done the AC joint because Dylan Grimes came through with a flying knee due to an errant kick.
I hope that's okay. The rarest of injuries last year with that elbow on debut.
Yeah, he owes him a froth or two, Josh Thomas, because shocking kick to him. Yeah, we hope he's okay. I hope it's not too serious, but didn't look great. The knee just came straight through to the collarbone. So,
thank you to Dean off the text as well to remind us that Australia have gone 2-all in the T20 series across the ditch in New Zealand.
Dutch.
Finch 79, over half of Australia's score. Look at that brilliant step inside from Marlon Pickett. The kick was a bit of a scrubber. Quaynor again meets it at full pace, but just couldn't get a handle on it. He's got to turn tackler now on Lambert, and he wraps him up.
Enjoyed
40
his
metres
game.
out from the Tigers' goal.
Quaynor, 20 disposals, half back.
Yes, had a lot of dash.
Yeah, a bit of dash. Bit of go about him. Like his game.
Kick smothered from Lambert. He might get another crack here. Rewalt steps through and got free hands to Edwards, who snaps on a standing start. Double palmer from Madgen. Tried to spin out of the Rioli tackle, only just got the little give off to Quaynor. Rioli bounced up and again put pressure on, which affected the kick and gave an opportunity for McIntosh to float across and take the intercept grab in front of Josh Thomas, about 65 from Richmond's home. He runs off now. He puts it to 25 metres out. Coleman Jones went at it like a late night kebab. Couldn't resist. Took the grab 30 metres out directly in front.
Well, he's not the only Richmond player who enjoys a late night kebab. We know that.
He gobbled it up.
Yes. A couple of his compatriots up on the Gold Coast. Hopefully this kick ends up better than a couple of those kicks.
So this for his first of the evening. He's competed hard all night. Callum Coleman Jones, and he gets it home. Good mark, good finish, and look at them all get to him. That's fantastic.
CCJ, good run, good leap. Jumped at the footy, took it at its highest point, shred it quicker than anyone else. Good sign from the young fella. So one of your hyphenated boys.
Yeah, love a hyphenated name.
Sting's gone out of this one, hasn't it?
Just slightly. 23 points now. Tigers, Collingwood have got it back to within 3 points, but Richmond have just put the foot down again. 11-12-78 now. 8-7-55. Collingwood. Robot Building Supplies. Robot's got its scoreboard. This is the AAMI Community Series on AFL Nation for McDonald's. A smooth barista-made coffee from the McCafe. It's available 24/7. Geelong, Essendon tomorrow. The first game. We'll work our way through those as well as Grundy and Chol continue in the middle. Grundy got a little slipper onto that as he was slipping over. McIntosh collected and wrapped up by Hoskin Elliott. Chol jumped early and he infringes upon Grundy. Oh, no, hang on. They're giving it against Grundy for holding him out.
The old stiff arm in the ruck.
Your thoughts?
Well, you can't. If he's running and jumping at the footy, you can't hold the arm out to impede that run and jump. So, I mean, by the letter of the law, Samuel, I guess it's a free kick.
Sorry, North and Hawthorn up first tomorrow, 4:10 game, and then the Cats.
Northorn.
And Essendon. Sunday, Giants and Swans. Adelaide and Port. Eagles and Fremantle. As Richmond go inside again. Jack with a one-handed pluck, a little right off the hip of Grundy. Not paid. Ball in dispute. Noble slapped it to Moore, got hands free, but handballed it back to the face of goal. Quaynor again runs hard at it. Quick kick the moment he gathered. Off the side of the boot, and it lands in the lap of Short, who wants corridor.
Short. He's had it 39 times, Jaden Short, for just over 900 metres gained.
Bolton had to stand underneath it and had it knocked out of his hands by Sire. Collier Dawkins, don't argue, was good on Tyler Brown. Just didn't see Josh Thomas coming the other way and couldn't do the same to him. Free kick, Thomas, for the good tackle. 48 metres from his defensive goal. Chol just worked Grundy underneath it, didn't give away a free kick, couldn't gather. Little Topo out in front to buy himself some more time.
Yeah, like him.
Starts to go back the right way now. Gave it to Asprey, down the line kick. Arts flew on Maynard. Oh, might have just given him a little corker as well. As Maynard's looking very proppy, running back to position. We'll have it thrown in, far side wing.
One-on-one contest there. Chol, Grundy. Chol gets the points, pushed him under the footy nicely. A bit of forward craft, as they say.
11-12-78 Tigers, 8-7-55 Collingwood. Any of the fresh faces doing piquing your interest for rolled fast fresh Vietnamese? Adam Cooney?
Well, just pumped up Marby. I think he's been really good. Your hyphenated boys have been okay.
Collier Dawkins and Coleman Jones.
Yes.
Egmalesi Smith has been good.
Egmalesi's been good too. When he gets the footy, good things happen. Did he get delisted?
Yes, he did.
Season, and they picked him back up.
Well,
I was really surprised to hear that.
They haven't picked him up yet. He's playing for a contract.
He's still not on a list.
No.
I think he didn't put a foot wrong in the few games that I saw. Uses it well. Smooth mover.
In the
Makes
meantime,
good decisions.
Jack Graham's found some space to take a mark inside forward 50. He's going back for the set shot. He'll kick this right on the numbers. Tighter than a 45 angle. He lets it ride. Does it work back? Just not enough. One behind. Rolled family-made Vietnamese serve fast and fresh. The fresh faces, which is one of the great things about the pre-season competitions. We get to see a few of them. Maynard's hobbling his way to the bench. So the injury toll continues to mount for Collingwood. That's the concern for them coming out of this game.
Yeah, still sidebottom, didn't last long.
Calf tightness, so precautionary, you'd think.
Not buying that.
And then Will Kelly, collarbone, after getting a knee from a Dylan Grimes mark. And that'll get assessed tomorrow. Josh Caddy back out there. That's a good sign. He limped off earlier on this quarter. Richmond win it back. Far wing, Bolton. Nice little 9-iron into the path of a leading Rewalt. That was an awkward sort of double-handed drop. He was looking for Caddy and just found Moore, who takes the mark.
He's in two minds.
Takes them on.
Going to the top of the square or to the lead up and put it in between the two.
Trey Rusco's got out the back again. Look at him go. Trey runs to 50. Does the unselfish thing. Cameron leading back at goal. Lost and infringes surely. That's a nice passage for Collingwood. Brilliant rebound. It started with the All-Australian centre half-back Darcy Moore, and they came near wing and they had runners everywhere. And Vlosten was just caught in the panic situation.
Yeah, just had to give the free kick away. Vlosten, no option. Cameron was going to take the uncontested mark, so made him earn it.
Darcy Cameron, easy as you like from the top of the square, and he pops it through.
A good transition late, still running. Good work from Darcy Moore, getting the right position, and Jack Rewalt just caught him two minds, as I spoke about. Probably just needed to hit that one to the top of the goal square, play the percentages. Sort of almost thought that his teammate was going to lead back up and got caught betwixt and between.
So just some of the team numbers for people thinking, I wonder where the game's been won and lost.
Yeah,
49 more disposals for the Tigers. Collingwood more handballs. Inside 50, 62 to 41, favouring Richmond. Their efficiency in the arc is at 47%, 29 shots from 62 inside 50s. Collingwood, 18 shots from 41 at 44%. 77% disposal efficiency for the Pies. 32 to 16, they've dominated the hit-outs. They've dominated clearances 27-19, but centre clearances 13 to 7, make that 8 as Collingwood get one out of the middle again. Mason Cox bent the back and was able to get it to Sire. Looping handball over the top to Thomas, who got a kick away. Cameron again to the top of the square.
There you go, late kick.
Got a position on Bolter and was able to hold it and the mark. Comes around onto his right. 2 on the trot for Darcy Cameron and the Pies. Margin back to 12 points, 79-67 for Robot Building Supplies. Robot's got it.
Still enough time. 2 minutes 44 to go if they want to put the foot down and try and win this one. Cox getting involved below his knees and a quick kick forward. Darcy Cameron, there's a couple in a row. Not sure he's done enough to cement his spot. In round one, I don't know how that the best forward-looking.
Can I ask you a question about their forward combination? Because Mark's inside 50 last year, they were 16th. Mychek, who's not playing tonight, had the most, equal 21st in the comp. He averaged 1.39 a game. It's an area of concern. We've often asked, how are Collingwood going to take the next step without a out-and-out key forward? So we know they've got high hopes for Will Kelly. Darcy Cameron's shown a little bit. Is it Mason Cox? Is it Brodie Mychek? How do they just improve themselves in that facet of the game, and who's going to be the one to improve it as they get another clearance? Rusco released again. This is Josh Thomas, rather, all the way to the line. It was Rusco who saw it over.
Well, it looks like
one behind.
Mason Cox is their man, and then the rest is the hybrid setup with Mychek down there and some smalls. And it looks to me as if they're going to play Jordan De Goey as a 70-30.
Look at that.
Mid-forward. So he's their X-factor player down there. So, I mean, is is it Cox and Cameron, the two big targets, or are they not agile enough once the ball hits the deck? I mean, I would go with one of the talls and then have that hybrid set up as Myercheck, the X factor down there. De Goey's going to play predominantly midfield, we're thinking, off the back of this game, and then some smalls with some mercurial smalls. And can Dacos, who's worked his way up as a midfielder now, will he have to spend some time there and when he's resting? And
Darcy Moore's just floated inside forward 50.
There you go. There's another option for him.
Callum Brown was tackled as he tried to handball to Pendlebury. Hence it was a little short. Pendlebury had Vlosten in his back and he'll get the free kick. 55 out from goal.
I'd like to see some hang time from Jeremy Howe up forward as well. He's got some X factor about him. Hangers and goals.
Oh, Pendlebury went the torp, and that's going to go almost out of bounds on the full. In fact, it's marked just inside.
Take the captaincy off him.
By Short in the left forward pocket.
Taylor Adams wouldn't have done that.
Switches to the near side of the ground. McIntosh is off and running, and that's a nice lead by Graham on the angle, and the kick was just as good. Straight out in front of him. McIntosh will get it back. Two nice hits in a row, this time to Arts. Beautifully weighted ball. Bolton just dropped the easiest of marks. Dacos to mop up. Handball just got past Caddy. And Roughhead just heaves it out of defensive 50. No look, but it finds Grundy. He can give it over the top to Moore, who's got some space as Marby Ochol tries to shut that space down. Cameron's 45 metres out, took the mark and was taken out of it. Mark free kick. Either way, this has been Darcy Cameron's quarter. 35 metres out, almost directly in front. He'll go back to kick 3 for the final term.
And it gives them something to think about too for the Dogs in a couple of weeks. Something to think about. Stretch their defence. If Darcy Cameron has kicked 3 in the final quarter, it's Mason Cox has kicked 3. It's what you want from your big boys.
So Castagna has 4. And now Cameron has 3. All of them in the final term. And he's just made it interesting. 29 minutes played. Just a kick in it now. 79-74. There's about 23 seconds left of regulation.
Big centre clearance coming up here.
They've won the last 3 centre clearances, I reckon, the Pies.
Yeah, they have. The game means nothing. We understand that. But what you want to do is get yourself into good habit. And good habits, winning habits early. So when the game is on the line, like this in round 15, you've been there, you've done it, you know how to set up. Get your prime movers in there. Having said that, there's not too many prime movers in there at the moment from either side.
What are you saying, Will Martin?
Young talent time. Bolton, Dacos, Tyler Brown up against Martin. Who's on the other side there? Is it Collingwood?
That's Callum Brown.
Callum Brown.
Chol wins it. Little underground handball. Bolton how elite was that little gather. Fend off. Just dumped it onto the right boot. They'll hold on here. Caddy, the gather and sidestep from 49 for a little cherry on top. No. Just across the face. 9 seconds on the clock. Oh, Quaynor was going to take it and take off. Caught napping with a Richmond forwards. He goes all the way into the middle of the ground. Desperate to get back with the flight from Will Martin. And there goes the siren. So slow to get started this game, and it ends with a little bit of excitement. 11-14-80. Richmond certainly were inaccurate, which helped Collingwood's cause at the end. 11-8-74 for them. Good hit out for both sides. 11-14-80 the Tigers. 11-8-74 the Pies. Robot Building Supplies. Robots got it. Adam Cooney, your initial thoughts from that win?
I think Richmond impressed me enough in the first half to see how they're going to play their footy again. And Dylan Grimes, Dustin Martin, superb. A few kids shone in the second half when they got their opportunity. So a couple of selection headaches for the Premier from last year. And Collingwood, I thought, times tried to move the footy a bit quicker than what they have in the past and just broke down forward of centre. Love the game from Noble, Quaynor. Darcy Cameron popped up late. So in terms of selection, they've got a few headaches as well. Do they play the two talls? Mason Cox and Cameron was really quiet. Didn't have a mark until halfway through the third and then came to life. So
I mentioned DeGoey and the time he spent in the middle. Kicked a couple of goals as well, so it was dangerous when he went forward. He just spent a long time there having a chat to Dustin Martin as they both walked out to the middle again. I'm just going to get up. So when we have a look at DeGoey, and there's obviously some things playing out in the background, but from a football point of view, debuted in 2015, so coming into 6th year now. Is it the year? I mean, is he going to have a Petrarca-like year? Has he had enough time now where you say you've got the big contract, you're going to spend some time in the middle, you're going to go up forward, but is it a repay the faith year for DeGoey, who, and I'm not having a crack at him, but there's been headaches all along the way. Do you now want to be repaid?
Well, yeah, we would have hoped to have been repaid already, but a couple of years ago. So 7 years and seventh year,
sorry, not his 6th. How good's my maths going?
Oh, you're hoping you're well and truly into the peak of your powers by his 7th year. I mean, he was really good tonight. He was impressive the way that he moved. He finished with 27. So that's all you can really ask for, and 2 goals. So he could have 2 goals too. Could have had 4. He worked hard up. He worked hard back. Kept his head over the footy. Tackled well. I like the connection with Grundy and DeGoey as well. Certainly in the forward stoppages, they look like they're in sync. And also around the ground, I think they can provide a pretty formidable combination. So, it's the year that Jordan DeGoey has to stand up and have easily the best year of his career. And it looks like it'll be that sort of 75, 80% midfield, 20% forward, which the power players with immense talent spend 4 or 5 years as sort of forward pinch hitting mids and then explode. And we've seen it. You mentioned the 2 players, Martin and Petrarca, have done that. He's in the same mould. He's got more power than Petrarca. So forward one-on-one, he's a better player. But now he has to turn into a genuine superstar in the midfield. It's time. 7 years is long enough. He's got a bit going on, we understand that. But you're right, it's time to repay the faith that Collingwood have shown him.
I mean, they made clear decisions, didn't they? I mean, we spoke about who they were willing to let go in order to keep him. So they let go of Adam Treloar, who, when people say, he butchered the footy, him and Scott Pendlebury were equal 13th in the comp last year for effective disposals and average per game. So in the games he played, he was as good as Pendlebury. He had as many effective disposals in a game as Pendlebury, Adam Treloar. Yeah. And he led them in some other statistics. He averaged more clearances than anyone at Collingwood last year in the games he played. And there's a few others where he sits up top. He was first in the competition for average disposals per game. So they made a big decision and essentially made a choice, saying, well, we're happy to let you go, we're happy to let Jaden Stevenson go, we're happy to let Phillips go, but we're not going to lose DeGoey. So it is a big responsibility to say we've culled well-liked players, good players, and we've picked you.
And he showed tonight that he's ready. And the game that he played tonight is as solid a midfield game as you could ask for, really. I mean, in a pre-season hit-out, 27, couple of snags, 5 clearances. It's a good game.
Major goal scorers, Castagna had 4. He got 2 in the first quarter. Darcy Cameron has 3, and they all came in the last. Mason Cox had a big third quarter, kicked 2 in that, and he kicked 1 in the last to have 3. Rewalt kicked 2-3. DeGoey 2-2. And then singles to Rusco, McIntosh, Elliott, Dacos, Edwards, Rioli, Caddy, Coleman, Jones, in no particular order, to be the goal scorers on the evening. Some of the fresh faces who caught your eye for rolled. Family-made Vietnamese, served fast and fresh. Adam Cooney, before you answer that, 0433 98 11 16. The text line is open on AFL Nation for the smooth barista-made coffee for the McCafe, available 24/7. It's easy for us to sit here and say who we were impressed by and who we got a little excited about, but who did you think? Who just caught your eye and who tickled your fancy? 0433 98 11 16. Let us know your view of the game. We would love to hear from you. And oftentimes, nobody knows your side like you do. So if you're a Pies fan or a Tigers fan, You would have been looking for players that we might not have, and you would have been seeing things that we might not have. So we'd love to hear from you. 0433 98 11 16. Coon, some fresh faces.
We're not first-year players, but young players trying to make their way into the back six of the Pies. Quaynor and Johnny Noble, I thought, were terrific this evening. Quaynor is rebound, dash and dare off half-back, finished at 23, 500 metres gained. He was really solid in the one-on-ones, took Dustin Martin a few times and held his own. Johnny Noble as well, 20 disposals. I thought he worked really hard, particularly in the first half. The Brown brothers did some nice things, really creative in tight too with their hands, particularly Callum Brown. I thought some of his work in tight with handball was terrific. Just going down the list here, Ollie Henry, I thought looked a bit nervous in his first hit out, which is to be expected. It made a few blues in the first half, but had a moment where took it on his shoulders, just missed the goal, but the sign of confidence that he can match it at the top level. So we'll see a lot more of him, obviously, as the years go by. On the flip side, I thought Marbior Chol, I'm speaking about players who haven't cemented their spot yet, I thought he was terrific. Came on in the second half and probably got the points against Brodie Grundy. So I really enjoyed his game. 3 hyphens for you. Derek Egmales-Smith, who I'm gobsmacked is not on Richmond's list as yet.
He just looked very calm and very assured in traffic.
Yeah, gets the footy and makes great decisions.
Remember when you got told as a kid, just take the first option. Just take the first option. It's often the best option.
Yep.
His first option handballing released that many players when he came onto the ground.
Yep. So he came on the second half, finished with 8. Collier Dawkins too showed a couple of signs. He had 8 disposals. Callum Coleman-Jones, a big
I wonder if it'll be a stat that comes into footy. Metres after your possession.
MGTA. Metres gained to advantage.
No, but metres gained after... So if you give the handball away, say I give a handball to Jaden Short and he runs 100 metres, or he runs 50 and kicks 50. So metres after possession.
Map.
Yeah.
You want a map?
Metres after the possession. Well, so because I reckon that Derek Egmales-Smith would have been huge in that area for the time that he spent on the ground. So when he got it, he gave it to someone in a better position who was able to run and carry and drive down the ground.
You should only accrue metres gained if you retain the ball. So some players could have 200 metres gained, kick it 4 times, 50 metres straight to the opposition.
Yep.
You still get 200 metres gained, but it could cost you 4 goals. It's a hard stat to take. I understand that because the nerds at Champion Data would have to... Well, they're not. They're nerds, aren't they? Footy nerds, aren't we all?
Goodness, you mean that obviously in the...
No, I mean they're footy nerds.
Complimentary.
That's exactly what I mean. They are nerds.
Right. I can't save that. I've tried. I've tried to find a way to save that, and I can't.
Poindexter's.
Now you're just making it worse.
When are we getting that back anyway?
Oh, goodness me. Never.
So, but it is it's a tough one to take, but, you know, if you want to do it, I'd like to see it done.
We've got audio of Mason Cox in just a moment, but a couple of questions off the text. Dean wants to know, how did Shea Bolton go? 16 disposals for Shea Bolton.
He wasn't at his prolific best.
185 metres gained.
He was flashy, and but didn't live up to this evening his form of 2020, but he'll get some good midfield minutes. He did this evening, and the last centre bounce, he was their most experienced man in there and got it done for them when Collingwood were pressing and the game was still in the balance. So
6 more scoring shots. Tigers looking good. That's come off the text with no name or location attached to it. But, yep, they did look good in spurts as well.
I think they took the foot off the gas and played the different players in the second half. I think they've still got a little bit of life left in them yet, unfortunately,
Jason,
everyone else in the comp.
Jason wants to know, Adam Cooney, with Eggy playing tonight, do you think that's a sign he secured the last list spot at Richmond? Gallucci stiff, ?
I hope so, yeah. I was flabbergasted that Egmalesi...
Flummoxed?
I was flummoxed that he didn't find himself on the list already. I think from what I saw of him last year, certainly got a future at AFL level, and we pumped his tyres up again this evening, and I think he's got that last list spot, Jason, sewn up.
Big predictions, Adam Cooney, that's what he's here for on AFL Nation for McDonald's Smooth Barista Made Coffee from McCafe. It's available 24/7. Mason Cox kicked 3 goals and seemed a little bit at sea, just couldn't quite get clean hands to ball in the first half. Well, in the second half, he really had an impact. Kicked 3 goals, took some big marks, and he spoke to David King on Fox Footy after the game.
Yeah, we've just had to adjust the microphone a little bit going from Jaden Short to Mason Cox. Mason, there's a bit going on out there tonight, a bit of heat on. Ty's come for you.
I hope we're all excited to be playing footy again, to be honest. I always love a bit of chirp here and there, and after a few there was a bit going back and forth, and a few guys from the forward line decided to come back and give you a little lip, so it's always in good fun, but it's enjoyable.
We'll start with your game, because we're fascinated by you. When you're in the game, Collingwood look likely to score, and then there's large chunks of the game where we don't see much of you. How do you assess that? How do you find that?
Yeah, it's probably just on me to be more consistent, and that's kind of what I'm looking forward to this year, is trying to get a full-quarter game under me and try to see if I can maybe do what I did, I think, the third quarter to be able to do that for a full game. So obviously it's not going to work every single time, but the more effort and the more time you put into it, hopefully we can do that. If you had to score the verbal fight between yourself and Jack Rewalt, who won it on points? Well, it's a pre-season game, I understand, but it's good fun. I mean, like, at the end of the day, you shake hands, and I think this is what footy's about. I think that's okay. I know you know a lot probably more than I do, but on the field you can talk trash, but once it's done, everyone's good friends. So. Ready for a big year? The Pies set for a big year. You've had a huge pre-season. You give the Collingwood fans your message. Yeah, we're just excited, I think, to get into it. This year, I think, with a bit of consistency, hopefully we're going forward and being able to play in front of Melbourne crowds. It's an amazing feeling. And today just had a bit of a different feeling to be back at Marvel and hopefully at the MCG this year. And, we just want to kind of provide hope and, a bit of positivity for everyone out there. And if we can do that for the Collingwood faithful, we're happy. Did that tonight. Good luck for the year. Thanks, mate. Hi, Mum and Dad.
Mason Cox with Fox Footy, David King after the game thanking Mum and Dad, and he's exactly spot on. You can have a little bit of a chat out there and a little bit of a chirp and a push and shove and shake hands at the end of it, and no one thinks any more of it. 3 goals for him, a couple of big contested plucks, and just off the text, what were Jaden Short's stats?
A stinker of a night, Jaden.
Yeah, just a really ordinary night from Jaden Short. 43 disposals at 79% and 958 metres gained. So some work to do if he's going to be in that side for round 1, the reigning Richmond best and fairest. We'd love to hear your thoughts on it. 0433 98 11 16. 0433 98 11 16. This is the AAMI Community Series on AFL Nation for McDonald's, a smooth barista made coffee from the McCafe. It's available 24/7. We'll work our way through tomorrow's games on the other side of this, but still plenty of time for your thoughts on AFL Nation. Richmond 11-14-80, a win over the Pies, 11-8-74. 6 points in the end. They hold off a fast finishing Collingwood outfit to get the pre-season win. Back after this.
You're listening to AFL Nation for McDonald's. Smooth barista made coffee from McCafe. Available 24/7.
Soldiers means no one left behind at the table. Soldiers means feeling fresh with rice paper rolls from Rolled Vietnamese. For a limited time only, enjoy 4 rolled Soldiers for just $12.50 or 8 for only $24.50. Soldiers, the ones of the front lines. Feeling fresh value deals. That's how we roll. Rolled, fast, fresh Vietnamese. Order yours today in store or via the meals deals section on rolled.com.au.
It was back when the likes of Rogan, Josh and Brew were winning Melbourne Cups that Garrard's Horse and Hound served their first customer. Now, after 20 plus years supplying specialty products to the equine and canine industries in Australia and New Zealand, Garrard's is a household name. Garrard's Horse and Hound guarantees expert advice, stocks the largest range and promises great monthly specials. Equine, canine, feline. Call the team at Garrard's on 1800 060 896 or buy online at horseandhound.com.au.
Hello. Over 2 years ago, National Tiles permanently slashed the price of Australia's largest selling tile from $25 to under $10 per metre every day of the year. 2 years on, National Tiles price is still under $10 every day of the year. Go to our website now to see for yourself why National Tiles is renowned for having the guaranteed lowest priced quality tiles in Australia. every day of the year.
This footy season, the competition is wide open. When you're travelling on the wide open roads over the holiday period, ensure your tyres are 100% safe with Tyre Power. The massive Easter sale is on now, and Tyre Power has you covered for tyre safety. Buy 3, get 1 free on selected passenger and SUV Toyo tyres. And like your team kicking a goal to win, the free 5-minute tyre safety check offers tremendous peace of mind. Find your local independently Aussie-owned Tyre Power at tyrepower.com.au.
On Sunday, March 14, the country is back and racing strong at the Jack Hirsch Yarra Valley Cup. Grab your mates or the whole family and support the local community with a day that's got it all.
Back where we belong, country racing strong.
Early Bird GA is just $15 per person online or $20 at the gate. Yarraview dining from $70 per person includes a 3-course meal and admission.
It's got it all.
Go to country.racing.com/Yarra Valley to book now.
Thinking Mitsubishi? Before you buy, shop at Waverley Mitsubishi. Get 10 years warranty and 10 years cap price servicing and a bonus 3 free scheduled services. Only at Waverley Mitsubishi, 565 Springvale Road, Mulgrave. T's and C's apply. Visit waverleymitsubishi.com.au. LMCT 443.
For surface testing of residual biological contamination following workplace cleaning, contact Identifiber. Their qualified expert team can conduct ATP testing for surface cleanliness and review cleaning protocols. For the safety of your business and staff, get an independent Identifiber risk assessment and review of your COVID-19 policies and workplace procedures. For surface testing of high-touch areas, respirator fit testing and other OH&S and environmental needs in your business, Identifiber have you covered. Identifiber.com.au.
Hungry Jacks NBL 21. Expect superstars. Expect fierce rivalries. And expect non-stop entertainment.
Golding can take the shoot, the 3!
Get ready for the big show. The NBL Cup is heating up in Melbourne. All 9 teams, 36 action-packed games, one winner of the inaugural NBL Cup trophy. On now. All game days are double headers. GA tickets are only $10 plus booking fee. The NBL Cup. Get $10 GA tickets now at nblcup.com.au.
Want to win free coffee for an entire year? That's a lot of lattes. Just order a McCafe coffee on the My Macca's app for your chance to win. There are 25 winners every day. But hurry, limited time only. Ends 23/03/21. Visit mcdonalds.com.au/coffeecomp for full terms.
You're listening to AFL Nation for McDonald's. Smooth barista-made coffee from McCafe. Available 24/7.
Coleman Jones went at it like a late-night kebab. Couldn't resist. Took the grab 30 metres out directly in front. Callum Coleman Jones, and he gets it home. Good mark, good finish. And look at them all get to him. A looping handball over the top to Thomas, who got a kick away. Cameron again at the top of the square. Comes around onto his right. 2 on the trot for Darcy Cameron and the Pies. So 11/8/74, Collingwood came home with the proverbial wet sail to make it interesting right to the end. 11-14-80, the Tigers were able to hold them out. They had 6 more scoring shots and they proved to be the difference. 6-point win to Richmond in this AAMI Community game on AFL Nation. For McDonald's, the smooth barista-made coffee from the McCafe is available 24/7. Off the text, Adam Cooney. Hi, boys. G. Mason Cox sounds more like an Aussie with every interview he does. That's from Trent.
Is he a citizen?
I'm not sure.
Has he got his